Good evening everybody. I hope you're doing well and having a fantastic Sunday so far. Good evening one and all, and welcome to my Sunday stream. And let me just move on through into the main scene. There we go. Sitting here, we have an Oreo who's come down to see me. Hold on one moment, let's pop the thing on. And then let's see if Oreo's camera can come on. He's just got his feet at the moment. He's just deciding whether to sit down or not. And good evening Mushy and Lizard. And who else have we got in? Let me go all the way to the top. There we go. And Elias and Happiest Funrock and Olaf and Andy. Thank you all for stopping by. And Summoner, I hope you're doing well. And Trax, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're having a great Sunday so far. Let me just put your camera up a little bit higher, Oreo. Nobody can see you as you're grooming yourself. There we go. I'll stick him in the corner. Just call you Ander, that's easier. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Trax. It's kind of obligatory that anyone who does do Wowhead blogs has to have a cat. So Oreo has been long-standing participant of the stream, thankfully. And before that, Cookie was around, but she doesn't tend to come down these days. Since we got this blue rug, Oreo's taken it over as his territory, so we don't get much else other than Oreo cam. But he definitely likes to perform. You got 4 dogs, 2 parakeets, and a fish. So if you need to stand in, that's fantastic. I'd love to get some more dogs. We used to have a dog, but yeah, a dog would be a nice addition. But we don't sadly have enough sort of like time at this point. Oh, Happiest, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Darkwing. Very kind of you. That's very kind of you. Thank you for your support. And congratulations, Darkwing. You now have the full set of emotes. Fantastic. And I even got an emote. Thank you, Happiest. So I got an extra bit as well. So thank you very much. Incredibly kind of you. So today is going to be another Sunday of the Wowhead blog. We're going to cover various bits and pieces over that once it goes live. And then we'll go through and do a little bit of gold making on all my characters. I haven't done much of my mailboxes, like daily mailboxes, all this week, so we'll have some nice... Oh no, Oreo's disappeared. I'll turn his camera off for the moment. So we'll have some nice mailboxes coming in, and we'll go through all of those at some point. Rushman and... Lol, you just subbed yourself. Okay, did we just have that one? Gifted one to that Darkwing, and you just subbed yourself. Oh, well, that's fantastic. Good evening, Lizard. I hope you're doing well. And good evening, John. And John coming, Delirium, resubbing for 2 months. Thank you very much. Incredibly kind of you. And for sharing the emotes. Let's see, a whole lot of emotes for you. Thank you very much for your support. Really, really is appreciated. So thank you one and all. Very kind of you. So I hope everyone has had a lovely week so far. Let me just move forward a little bit so I don't go AFK. There we go. We're here in Stormsong Valley at the moment because we actually got a Cookie here. She might come in and join us on camera, but I'm not sure she will. Let me see if I can entice her over. See if she can come on over. I rarely see Cookie, but here she is. She's come over to say hello. She doesn't like walking on the blue rug. So she just managed to come in a little bit whilst Oreo's away. So this is my other cat. But she likes my lap. Yeah, she definitely does. If I can entice her to come on my lap. I've currently got the keyboard on there, so maybe she won't. But he's having a good old sniff of the camera instead. He's quite aloof these days, so I'll turn that off again and wait till Oreo comes back. Oreo's probably gone off to have some food, to be honest. It's so snowy. Do you have snow there, Lizard? We haven't had any here yet, but it's very snowy where I am here in Azeroth, certainly. Yeah, Cookie's very nice. She does tend to keep herself to herself, but she does like a good lap in the morning. And she sleeps with us at night time, which is always nice. Just a winter storm, code yellow. Oh, right. Okay, well, fingers crossed for you. It's not too brutal. Can't believe I don't have any cat emotes. We do have one, Happiest. It's the Oreo one. It's a bit difficult to work out, but it's this one. He's upside down because that's his default position. So he does like to roll over onto his back, but it is quite hard to. I need to sort of work on that a little bit more. Yes, it is. um, um, it just completed, so you got 2 months. Okay, Darkwing, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your support, and congratulations on your gifted support as well. So thank you very much. Let me just check that see if everything's gone live. Hold on one moment. And let me just check the Wowhead section, see if we have gone live. Let's give that a refresh. I don't think it's quite gone live yet, so we can talk about the blog once it has gone live. But good that we've got you all here. We can probably go through our normal gold making bits and pieces, and then I'll update once the blog itself has gone live. Let's give that. Oh, we have literally 13 seconds ago, literally just gone live. So there we go. We can go over there in a moment. Let me just bring that on over. Let me just tear this tab off. Oh, Oreo's meowing now. Let me just move this one over here, and then we'll go to the 102nd edition of the WoW Economy Wrap-Up. Let me just move my windows around here so I can see everything. So we've got one of these and one of those, and we'll move that around here, and then we'll move that over there, and then hopefully we'll be alright. Gatecrasher, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well on this fine evening. Just Call Me Tessa, good evening to you too. And School Shane, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Me and the family are doing very well, thank you very much. We've had some lovely days doing all sorts of things, playing Mario Kart, playing board games, a bit of Settlers of Catan, going for lovely walks. So we've had a really, really nice family week this week. Hope yours are all well as well. Literally have never noticed that it was a cat emote. No worries. Happiest. And Wheels TV, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're having a great Sunday so far. So we're going to go through the first part of the stream today. We'll be going through my write-up. Oh, let me just adjust that, actually. I was going to put the Wowhead command, so let me just copy that and adjust my command that I've got for the Wowhead blog. Hold on. Now, let me see if I can find it. I did have it here a minute ago. Oh, there it is. And if we edit that, I believe, and then I'll paste that in here and submit that. That should be fine. So that's all set up so that if you do want to jump in on the Wowhead blog, let me just try this out, then hopefully this link should take you straight there. So this is the blog as it is at the moment. So we are basically going to go through a few different things tonight. We have choosing a server, gold making add-ons, the other spreadsheet that has been posted on Reddit and was mentioned on the stream last time. Tibler, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. And then we've got a little bit of news on classic gold making, courtesy of Lazy Goldmaker. And then we're doing a case study on Taliesin, who has just started his gold making journey. So it's very interesting to watch someone who doesn't do gold making and how they approach it, and then see if we can learn some more from them. So a few different bits and pieces to cover today. So I'll go through those all one by one. So let me start with choosing a server. So this was a question that was posed to me during this week, and I thought it would be a good time to sort of talk about choosing a server. Even though I myself have stayed on the same server, it's always worth looking at other servers to see what kind of markets you might potentially be able to break into. You may not like the server you're on, or you may want to spread out into multiple servers. So I went through what my thought process was and what kind of sites I would visit in terms of choosing a server and what kind of data I would look at. I would obviously use my own experience on my own server as a starting point and make comparisons from there. So the way I split it up was into three different things. One was population, the second one was market, and a third one was activity. So by population I meant if you go to a high pop server, then you will be most likely posting frequently, but your profits will be probably less, but you'll get much more in terms of volume. So that's suitable if you're thinking that you're going to be around the auction house sort of like several times during the day, and you can post on and keep on top of your auctions that way, or you just generally like an auction house that's really active. And then on the other end of the scale is the kind of lower population servers, where generally the prices tend to be higher, but the competition is less. So usually if you're only going to pop on maybe once a day or once every other day, then maybe you can post your auctions there, leave them, and then come back to them. And then obviously there's the middle ground, the medium pop, which is where I'm at the moment with Shadow Song, and where I feel like I've got a nice balance between posting frequency and competition. So for me personally, Shadow Song works really well, but I know different people prefer different servers. Obviously they started on different servers, and if you're thinking about going to a different server, then there's all those things to consider. So then I talked about the market, as in what kind of things are you going to sell? Is it mats? Is it professions? Is it BOEs? Is it pets? There's all sorts of different things you can look at. And the thing I would do would be to look at the Undermine journal, especially the price population scatter plot, which I've got an image of here. Because for me, that would be the ideal way of seeing where I am versus a server, and what kind of like the comparison is. So if I go into the Undermine journal, I'll follow this link as it is. So I was on Argent Dawn. I'm going to swap over to my existing one, Shadow Song. But it could be anyone actually. Let's just pick one at random. Let's say we looked at Gordunny. I have no idea what kind of server this is. So I would look at something like the most available thing, which is Tide Spray Linen. And then I would look at the scatter plot for there. So because this is a market I'm familiar with my own server, I would look at the current price there and think, okay, well that's actually quite cheap, just hovering above the vendor price. And then I would look down, I'd scroll all the way down to the scatter plot here. Now this is a high pop server. From looking, this is all the way over here on the right hand side. So I'd say, okay, so I'd expect all the prices to be highly competitive here. But let's say I went a little bit lower. Let's say I wanted to go into a medium pop. Say this one, Dunmolder, or Moder. That's quite expensive at the moment. There's only 9,000 of those. So I would look at, okay, well maybe I want something that's quite cheap. Maybe something that's down in here. Arathor and Hellfire. That seems like a good server. So the current price is 377. Average is 238. What kind of quantities do they have? Well, we can have a look at this first snapshot and we can go, okay, well, let's see. I'm familiar with Tide Spray quite a lot, and quantity wise there's not a huge amount here. 5,000, 1,000 available. Obviously the prices have gone up accordingly there. They've taken a big hit because there was a huge amount here at this point. Adriana, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Let me just move around a little bit and just move that off there. Is that really random luck? And I'd look along here and I'd say, okay, well, the high quantity here, like there's 70,000 here, 90,000 there, and then I'll go all the way down here and I think, okay, there's not much here at all, and the prices have reflected that one as well. Kapora, how are you? That's a bad low server. As you're speaking from experience, let's choose another one. Let's go along and have another one. So let's go and pick one a little bit higher up in the popularity here. Let's look at the quantity here. So look at that one, 396, but the quantity here is at 28,000, so there's a good supply of Tide Spray Linen here. So having a look at different ones here. And Zimpao, thank you very much. 8 months of subscribing. Thank you very much indeed. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you for your support. A whole load of emotes for you. Thank you very much. Using your Prime. Thank you very much indeed. So we're currently just going through what I would look at in terms of servers, see if I can find a good server, essentially. So let's go on further down here. So we found one here that's got a lot of Tide Spray Linen. Average price is about 3 gold 84. The median is quite high at 7 gold 92. So I'd look here and say, okay, the quantity is quite high here, 26, 27,000. So there's someone that is at least supplying the market. And then we've got the the price here at 3.95. It has spiked up a little bit higher here at 7 and 8 gold. And then we could look at this more historically. Would have a look. I'd probably look at the general heat maps and just to see the general prices, which is hovering around 7, 8 gold, and sometimes going down to like 5 gold. And then the one thing I'd compare this against is I would look at this and okay, how does this compare to the enchant prices, which is what I would be using my tie spray for, because this is me using the market that I know. So if you were looking at this from your own perspective, say you're a herbalist and alchemist, you'd be looking at the prices of herbs versus the prices of the alchemy. It all depends on what you're going to do on that server. But in terms of supply and demand, this seems like a reasonable server to look into. But I'd want to look at the price of the enchants on this server. So looking at Dark Sorrow. Cypher, thank you very much for the follow. Thanks for stopping by. So I would look here and I'd probably search for just Accords, because that's a good ballpark. The oh no, just regular Accord. The Accord of Critical Strike and Haste are the main two. And so you'd look here as a comparison. Okay, the prices aren't too bad actually. 984 versus 985 compared to my own server, where my Tide Spray price is about 5 gold and my Accords are hovering around the 5 to 700 gold mark, so they're slightly lower on my server. So I can use my own server as a comparison. Availability wise, there seems to be a fair number, 28 and 32. Not a huge amount though. And then I'd look at this and say, okay, what is the variation like? Is this a one-off or are they normally higher? See, normally the median price here is 1,200, which is quite good. You can see here there's been a reset here, and then the price has generally dropped relatively slowly. That's not too bad, but the quantity has remained about the same. Enchants are under 500 gold on your server. Ouch. It all depends what's the price of Tide Spray, so I'd always use that as a comparison. But under 500 gold certainly would mean it's very narrow margins, especially if you're looking at Tide Spray going below 2 gold, because then you could probably turn the Tide Spray into a vendor flip with the pants. You can make those and just vendor them off. So looking at this, the prices do seem quite nice heat map wise. 1,700 there, 1,800 there, all above 1,000. And in terms of quantity, there seems to be a fair number. So if I was to look at a server, this would be a potential, because it's here in the middle, and on the Tide Spray side there's a decent number of those. So that's the kind of things that I would be looking at if I was going to sort of like try out another server. Kapora and Kanema, thank you very much for the follows. It's around 2 gold, so it's profitable, but the income is far from the best. Yes, that would be the case, wouldn't it? And then you'd use a spreadsheet or some other tool to look at whether it's really worth your time, or whether you might want to find another niche, which is the great thing about finding a new server, is discovering what the new niches are. Fast Break, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure I had a spreadsheet. I think it's just it might be just shuffle, I think, Mushy. Let me just try that. Shuffle. There we go. Thank you, Mushy. There you go. You got that before me. And Capolathor, how are you? I'm doing very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? Hope you're having a lovely Sunday so far. We're just going through the first part of the Wowhead blog. So we're going through what I would look at if I was looking at a server. So we've gone through looking at the Undermined Journal and looking at the things that we might want to look into. And then once I've found a server that I'm probably a little bit interested in, then I would look at things like Realm Pop and WoW Progress. So Realm Pop's always good for, if we go to EU, which is the one we looked up here, Dark Sorrow. So let's have a look here. We'd go down and have a look, just scroll all the way down here to Dark Sorrow. And then you can have a look and say, okay, so this is mainly Alliance, and it's got a good mix of different people. So that would be the main consideration here, Alliance Horde balance, because if I'm Alliance and I want to sell the PvP crafted gear, then because it's faction specific, that would be a consideration for me. And then I would look at WoW Progress, and look at the guild. Let me have a look. Now I believe if I do a search for Realms EU, and then I don't want to translate the page, I'll have a look for it here. So probably by name, and then what are we looking for? Dark Sorrow. These are all connected. It's connected Dark Sorrow. I'll look at this, and then have a look at how many guilds are actually, how are they doing on their progress. So there are a few guilds here doing mythic progress. At least 3 of them are an alliance, and they're either 7 of 8 or 6 of 8. So they're probably actively going on that point of view. So there's a chance of maybe serving some alchemy on this server, or the enchant certainly. We're just trying to stream, but stopped to watch me. Oh, well, thank you, Capital. That was very kind of you. No classic anymore. Is that Lodsmith? I haven't done a lot of classic for the last couple of weeks, I must admit. I am still interested in classic. I don't want to completely abandon it. But because there's so much stuff going on with retail at the moment, I wanted to just focus on helping everyone get their Brutosaur mount at the moment, because that seems to be the focus of a lot of people. Greetings from Germany. Schleikel, guten Abend to you. Hope you're doing well. Missed you in the guild. It's only me active. Oh right, I'm so sorry about that. I'll try and pop on a little bit more often on my classic side. I have been very limited these past couple of weeks with my time, so I would certainly like to get back into at least getting myself to the 35. I'm not far off of them on the classic journey. But at the moment, as I was saying, yes, the focus has been on retail, simply because a lot of people are wanting to get either the Brutosaur mount, or they're wanting to fund things that are coming up like the Shadowlands expansion, or they simply are interested in gold making. And so I wanted to make sure I've got that area covered, and I'll certainly come back to classic as well, because that's a whole new market as well. So, oh, I've got a meowing Oreo. Are you going to jump up on the top? Or are you going to come here, Oreo? There we go. Let's see if we can get him to join me. There we are. Orio's just going to come down and have a little lie down. There we go. At least we can have a full Oreo sitting next to me whilst we carry on. Just get him settled for the moment. Let's move your camera to the right, actually. There we go. He always looks a little bit startled, does Oreo. There we go. So those are the main things I was thinking about with the server. Really want to make some serious gold, and you're the one to show the way. Okay, anyway, leave you in peace to stream. No problem, Lodsmith. You're more than welcome to hang around. Even if you want to talk about classic stuff, we're more than happy to chat about both classic and retail here. So it's good to have you here in whatever capacity. Oh, thank you, Shekel. That's very kind of you. So those are the main sites I would look at in terms of trying to look at a realm and gain information on whether it's a good realm to at least try out on. Looking at this one, I would probably give it a go. I would make a character and then see if I could explore it a little bit further, maybe come with a 120 boost or a 110 boost, and see if I can just get myself a little bit more information that way. And try out, in my case, I'll try out professions, but it all depends on what you're interested in and what you find fun. If you want to see what other sellers are like on that server, the Undermine Journal on the US side shows you the sellers. On the EU side, because of the privacy laws, they've taken off the sellers' information on the Undermine Journal, but you can see it through Trade Skillmaster /sellers, so you can search for specific sellers on a server that way, and that usually helps as well. Jay, good afternoon, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely day so far. Currently going through the Wowhead blog at the moment. So we've just pretty much covered everything on choosing a server. So carrying on from that, the next thing, there was a good Reddit post this week talking about what add-ons people use, and I wanted to covered this in a little bit more detail, going through the add-ons that are out there that I know of and the ones I personally use, as well as ones that I've had recommended to me, and I probably missed a couple, but I tried to be as extensive as possible. So I covered the main auction house add-ons. Auctioneer, Auctionator and Trade Skill Master are the main ones, in kind of like various orders of ease of use. Auctioneer and Auctionator being very easy to use, however they do need scans. And that's it. Thank you very much for the follow. With the API changes coming, won't the seller options not be available anymore? That's a good point actually, Kinder Sir. Once 8.3 gets released, we're not going to see all the different sellers, will we? Unless there's a way of TSM being able to work out, because you can see the names of people. It's not necessarily completely hidden, but maybe there's definitely some information we can still get there. Am I enjoying doing the recap? Oh, I'm loving it, Jake. I'm really enjoying sort of like, it's a way of consolidating the things I'm finding out about during the week. The stuff I would do normally just through following Twitter and Reddit and all the other Discords and information that I'm interested in myself. So it's a nice way to compile it together and try and present it in a way that's useful to other people as well, hopefully. Really hope they rethink the idea that you have to buy the cheapest. Yes, that is one of my concerns, Mushy. I mean, if you are concerned about it, by all means put the feedback in the PTR. They do read it, and I'm sure they will consider it. Because, as you said, yes, you can't, if you suspect someone's a bot, even though you don't know fully whether they are, or your own just personal choice, you may prefer a certain seller over someone else, someone that's providing things reliably to you. You may want to pick theirs. You heard that in 8.3 you can see a maximum of 500 of your auctions. Any information on this? I don't know. That's the first time I've heard of it. I'd have to test it out. I'll have to go onto the PTR and give it a look. But that's definitely wouldn't be useful, because we gold makers certainly have more than 500 auctions on at any one time, that's for sure. Let me just move around a bit so I don't go AFK, and I'll come back here. There we go. I did see your Timecodes bot, at least in a very big multi-boxer. Yes, I did, in terms of that quantity on the realm. Yes, because you can see it really spike up in terms of quantity. So it's a question of, is that a big multi-boxer? As we know, there are people who do multi-box, 8, sometimes even 24 accounts at a time. But you never know. It could be someone who's got a large stock. It could be someone who's got, like you said, it is a bot, or it could be someone who's multi-boxing. 40,000 from one person. I mean, that is definitely on the high end, definitely. It doesn't necessarily mean they're botting, but the only way to know for sure would be to actually follow them in some way. Yeah, multi-boxers can farm that, man. Certainly, I've seen it happen. If someone can get if one person can get, say, 1,000 tide spray in an hour, then someone with 8 accounts can get 8,000 tide spray in an hour. That's the main thing, really. It all depends on who they are. I mean, what I did was I sent a message to someone who posts in large amounts on my server, my particular server, and I just sent a message to thank them for providing all the tide spray, and they wrote back and said, you're welcome. And so I kind of like, okay, that's my first barrier of entry, sort of like, at least I'm dealing with a human at some point. Until you fall under the vendor price there, and then you buy and craft with vendor the excessive. I mean, that's a good tactic anyway, no matter what you get. Certainly. So talking about the add-ons, going back to these are the main ones, obviously. Auctionator and Auctioneer needing scans, whereas TSM doesn't. But obviously TSM has quite a steep learning curve to it. So, but once it is set up, then pretty much you can streamline your entire gold making process. And then I've added the Undermine Journal here because it does have a add-on component that you can install, which gives the Undermine Journal data, market data, as part of the tooltip. Now, I think this would be really useful for anyone who's coming into the auction house in 8.3 and doesn't necessarily want any of these bigger add-ons, but just wants a little bit of market information so they know what price to really set it at. So that would be useful, I think, certainly in the future. JetFA and Mr. Classified, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well this fine evening. Welcome on board. We're just going through talking about gold making add-ons at the moment. So talking about the main ones here. And in terms of farming, obviously that's a big way in terms of making gold. You've got the key ones, Gather, Make 2 and Data, which will give you all the herbs and the ore on both your mini map and on your main map. The data component being able to import other people's data, and then Roots adds on to that by drawing a line all over it. I can show that, I think, if I go over to, now who has it? Let me just check my map here. I don't think I have, because I don't have herbalism on this character. If I go over to, I quickly jump over, we're not in a rested area, so once I come over, I'll jump over to my other character, the herbalist. I'll go over to Stabadan, because he's my new herbalist at the moment, and I'll show you what Roots looks like on a mini-map there. The auctioneer and stuff will be out of date though, because the auction house is getting revamped. This is true, every auction house add-on is going to have to rethink perhaps how they're going to do the add-on. I know the TSM team are working on what they can do for 8.3, because a lot of the underlying technology is completely changing. So it's going to be very interesting, and whether it's going to get updated. There may be a time of chaos, as it were, as people who don't have the add-ons, if they don't have it, they're not going to be able to use it. So it's going to be interesting, certainly. Remember Gather a long time ago. I wonder what happened to it. Yes, I remember using Gather a long time ago. I do wonder. Obviously, people do move on when it comes to updating add-ons. So I was going to look at a map here where I've got, I believe, Drustvar I made a route on. Was it this one? I don't think I did it here, actually. I think it was on my other computer. I didn't have routes set up here. But let's say, for example, we had routes here. I could probably go through it quickly here, but basically what it would do is, if I could just go back here, you go into this zone, and Roots would draw a line all the way around, and you'd follow the line, and it's a really handy way of just going around the zone and picking up all the herbs that you want to do, or the ore, whichever one it is. So that's always useful. Let me just move on back over here. So I'm out of Borealis. I want to go into the more peaceful soundtrack. There we go. Let's just find my way in a nice area. There we go, and then we can go back to the blog whilst we're here. What did I miss? I also really dislike automation auction house add-ons. They give a unfair advantage. Well, there's never any real automation. There's nothing things are doing for you. They're just giving you information and a way for you to do repeated things quickly and easily, but you're still having to do all the things yourself. It's only unfair if you can't use them themselves. Yes and no. I mean, it's more convenient. It's like simple things like using easy scrap rather than having to scrap every single item. That would be the kind of thing that an auction house add-on does. It basically takes your auction house data and gives you an easy way of posting it. Now, the great thing with 8.3 is it's going to level the playing field in terms of people will be able to easily post and easily sell and easily buy that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it, because I think there's going to be a lot more auction house activity. This also makes things you do manually, yeah. I'm using Excel spreadsheets for a bit and lowering your posting to make sure you turn a profit. That's a good idea. Just double check your process. That's a very sensible idea, kind of stuff. Keeps yelling at me the Azarat talent, so you don't. Yes, I've got the same one, JetFA, definitely. And Flambuki, thank you very much for the follow. TSM is too complicated. Wish for something more simple. Yeah, it would be nice, because TSM does everything, but in order to do everything the way it does, it is by necessity complicated. And so yes, it is quite intimidating to start off with, but hopefully with the guides that are out there, including my own, I hope to sort of lower the barrier of entry so that more people feel that it's useful and feel like they can at least give it a go, certainly. What else did I miss? Oh god, there's loads of stuff in here in the chat. Let me just scroll quickly down. Apologies if I've missed everything at the moment. Justin Rose, how are you? Good evening to you. Also, no more one cloth or one ore being repeatedly spamming the auction house. Yeah, that's definitely going to be useful. Can't wait to sell more transmog because the uncollected appearance. Yes, Christopher Robin, that's a good option I'm looking forward to as well. I may expand my sort of crafted transmog market for that very reason. And Lazy Titan, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. TSM 3 felt a lot more user-friendly than 4. Interesting, because I thought it was they designed it to be more user-friendly with 4, but you know, obviously that's very much a personal preference, perhaps. And Lazy Titan, thank you very much for using Prime for 5 months. Thank you very much. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you for your support. A whole load of emotes for you. Thank you very much. Really is appreciated. Most people don't know the add-on collections hop, and that shows uncollected transmog. Oh, that's very interesting. I figured all the things would do something like that as well. Does it not have something like that? And Mogit as well, that's another good one. Does that actually help it? It's not something I've been interested in personally, but I know it's a good thing. It does. Okay, so it's good that there are options out there at the moment. You have both. Is the Undermine Journal not going to work after 8.3? I really don't know. I don't know what under the hood data is going to be. I would guess that the API data is still available, unless Blizzard do something to completely break it. I don't know. More stats on the cards. Oh, excellent, Rose. Now open 18,000 cards since tracking them 2 weeks ago. Total opening value of 82,000. Average per card 4.5 gold. So it went down by a gold per card over the past week. Interesting. Do you think that's because more people are maybe doing the cards, or is it a simple sort of variation in the market? But interesting nonetheless, certainly. Morgit's amazing. Sometimes the info on Blizzard's end is wrong, so Morgit helps you where the stuff is. Ah, even better. Maybe I should add Morgit and other things into this in an extra section. Maybe I'll add another one in about transmog stuff like those ones. I'll make myself a note to do that. I haven't got my notepad with me, but I'll make a mental note. I'm sure that'll work. I never forget things, honestly. And then I went on to so we did roots, and Once by Gold's got a great video on setting up roots, gather mate and data, all of these ones. And then there's Farm HUD, which is another part of the whole sort of suite of farming add-ons. Farm HUD makes a great big heads-up display in the center of your screen where you can follow where the next node is. I personally don't like it being right in the middle. I look at the mini-map myself, but I know a lot of people use Farm HUD more successfully, certainly. Is there a command for this add-on list? Not for this particular list, but if you go onto the Wowhead blog, you'll see all the items here. Wowhead. If you go onto the blog here, and then each of these has got a CurseForge link to it, so you're more than welcome to go in and have a look and pick out any that you think you might find useful. Oreo reminds me. Yeah, Oreo, set me a reminder about transmog for tomorrow at 8 AM. See if that works. I'm sure it won't. It'll just meow at me and look surprised. Another question though, is it possible to automatically sync TSM data, groups operations with TSM Premium? In terms of automatically sync, do you mean going from one computer to another? Because you can, between accounts. Now between accounts, I'm not sure whether there is a methodology in doing that. I think you can link accounts. Because I don't have multiple accounts myself, I don't know how it works. Maybe post in the Discord and maybe someone there will be able to help you with that one. It's not something I'm familiar with personally. I wish other professions had easier levelling like tailoring does. Yeah, they seem to be a bit hit and miss, certainly, in terms of professions. I'm finding inscription quite interesting so far. I've only really started it still. I've just focused on getting some herbalism going on my rogue here at the moment. You're using a second account on the auction house, so it would be useful. You can link accounts, but you've never liked it. Oh, okay, kind sir, thank you. When he wakes you meowing, you'll assume it's for breakfast, but he's reminding you, or trying to, exactly. I'll just be like, what are you talking about, Ario? I've got you some food. Blacksmithing and enchanting always gives you issues. Enchanting's quite, certainly getting the rank 3s can be quite a mission, certainly. I found alchemy was quite good though, in terms of professions. That was quite a good one. So, moving on with the add-ons, I talked about Loot Appraiser, which is obviously a good one for a lot of streamers alike, as well as gold makers, because people do Loot Appraiser challenges. I know Student Albatross and Seathrift do those, and Profits TV himself, who made the add-on, also streams on Twitch, so be sure to check them out. You can do it, makes you a bit longer than others. Easy disenchant is a godsend. Yes, anything that allows you to disenchant things, definitely. So easy disenchant, how does that differ from TSM destroying? I'd be interested to know that one. That's not an add-on I've actually heard of. You've not tried the other one. You level 2 more monks to garrison this week. Only 3 more and you have 40 ults at garrison level. I think you'll stop on 40 so you can free up slots for Volpera. Wow, that is a lot of characters. Leveling speeds set Windwalker for mob farming. Have all those stuck for the new auction house changes. Fantastic. Well, at least you've got a lot covered there. That's a good position to be in. It's much easier to disenchant with a macro, in my opinion. That is true. You can, if there's specific things you're constantly disenchanting, like say the tie spray bracers, a macro can do just as good as something like TSM destroying, which quite often bugs out and gets stuck, especially if you've got yourself in a laggy zone like Borealis or something like that. Where it brings up a screen that shows items that can be disenchanted, and you just click on them individually. Right click to blacklist them from being out there. Okay, that seems quite condensed. I quite like that one. I do something similar myself, but I just use a hotkey for my disenchant, and then I open my bags and just literally go through the hotkey and press each thing I want to disenchant by hand, and that's quite reliable in itself. You're on the Silas hunt. You need your Hydra core, and you're good to go. Oh, good luck, Merrick. Definitely a good one to go for once you've got it. And Handlebar Walrus, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. What does TSM Destroy do? You found your 0 key for disenchanting. Isn't that the fastest? It can be. It depends how quickly TSM bugs out. In a zone like sort of Dalaran, it doesn't bug out that often. And what I have my setup for when I'm doing my TSM Destroy, I'm going to go back and jump onto another character now. Where am I? Let me go back to Borealis, and I'm not sure if I can show you exactly, but I'll just go and get myself into a rested area, and I'll jump back to Samadan. So with my right, so let's just log out here, and we'll go over to Samadan, and I'll show you what I do for my TSM destroying. So I go over here. I don't think I've got any expulsum, so maybe I'll just make a few tie spray linen braces. That should be quite quick to do, and I'll show you what I do. We'll go into this. Just pursuing your longboy. Well, fantastic. I hope you get it soon. Actually, I can do it from here. This is fine. Let's just go over here. Right, so I have, let me make some braces. I've probably got some. I still can make 859, so let's just make 10. We don't want to be here forever. So let's create 10 of these. I wish there was a way to get hydrocore without doing dungeons. I know, I've completely ignored that whole market because I just don't do dungeons myself. But I know a lot of people do. But I would like to get things in different ways, certainly. And Arniokus, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So I just made some various 10 braces here. I'm going to disenchant them all. So I have TSM Destroy as a macro down here, and I've assigned it to the shortcut key Control X. And the reason I've done that, if we look in the macro, so I'll go on here, go on to my macros, and which one's the TSM Destroy? So it is just, the macro command is just /TSM Destroy, and that I've added down here under Control X. So the reason I do that is I can just quickly press Control X and bring this window up and down quite easily, because it sometimes bugs out. But also, my TSM scroll wheel settings, if I go into my settings here, and I go into my macros, my scroll wheel for doing all things like Destroy Next, which is in my TSM macro setup, I have Control key held down whilst I scroll wheel up and down. So for me, what I do is if I want to disenchant, I keep Control key held down throughout the whole time, and then I can just tap X to bring the window up and down. And then when it's up, I just scroll wheel the wheel, and I just keep scrolling up and down like this. And then, like now, it's bugged out and it's got stuck. So I can quickly and easily just tap X twice, and I'm back in the game in terms of disenchanting. And then I can keep going. So I have this going, and I'm just scrolling the wheel rapidly up and down, so it quickly does disenchant next every time. And then if it does get stuck again, I can simply just, there we go, it's stuck again. So tap X twice, and I'm back in disenchanting. So for me, that works really well. But it's just as easy sometimes, if you want to disenchant something specifically, is to have your bags open, and I've got my disenchant hotkey to the equals key. So I can then just press the equal key and just tap each of the things that I want to disenchant manually, and that also works quite well. So those are the main ways I do things. Right, I probably missed out loads on chat whilst I monologued there, so hold on. Playroom, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. And what I've got there, like Honourable for Veil, Taskray for Umbra or Gloom. You have 12 bar disenchant macros for disenchanting for mats. Oh, okay. How I use the benthic gear for disenchanting. I haven't actually had a Barbaros. I've not managed to, I don't tend to get it that frequently myself, but if I had any spares that I didn't need, I would certainly disenchant it. It's quite easily. You say that for alts to get them heroic and the last LFR level. Okay. It's also just made a macro with disenchant item via the item ID, so they would only destroy that item they had the ID of in the bags. That's not a bad idea actually if you wanted to just specifically go through things. That's a good idea. Can I Mog It? It's another good add-on for mogs. Keeps track of stuff on every character. Oh, that's also useful. I like the sound of that. What I'll do is I'll go through this stream afterwards, and I'll add any ones that I'm missing onto the blog, and we'll make an extra transmog category and add all these in. So these lovely suggestions. Thank you all. Does of the X change the ID, or is it still the same? Now I believe at the core of the X is a different ID for each one. So if you had them all in as part of the macro, then it should work, I think. You do it when the emissary quest is up. Free 5 crystals. Yep, that's fair enough, definitely. So is Mog It or can I Mog It better? I'm not sure, but I'm sure people in chat will certainly be able to advise. Phoenix Cat, thank you very much for the follow. And Midnight Hawk, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday so far. We're just going through the Wowhead blog at the moment. We're talking about add-ons mainly, and all the different goal-making add-ons that people use. We just went and talked about all the different loot appraiser ones and stuff like that, and we talked about disenchanting, went off on a bit of a tangent there. And then bag-wise, bag add-ons, the main one obviously a lot of people use is Bagnon, but me personally I use Addy bags, which for me is quite nice because it categorizes everything like this, and there is a TSM module for it that you can add as well. I haven't got it here, but I have tried it out, and then it can categorize all your items by TSM groups, which is really handy. So if you are interested in that. And then one for me certainly is Sushi Sort, which is organizing my guild bank tabs, which as much you all know, my my guild banks are always messy, so having an add-on like Sushi Sort certainly helps me. All things and Auctionator works together to have a search of items you don't have unlocked yet. Okay, that's pretty good. They're different and have different functions. Okay, from both of them. Okay, thank you, Jetta. Mog shows you the model of the item. Can I mog it? Shows you the icon for the item in your bags to show you if you know the look or not. Okay, so that's different useful ones. Bank stack can also sort guild bank. Okay, thank you, Game On In. I'll add that one to the list. Auctions won't let you post a macro in chat. Oh yes, if you start it with a slash, then it doesn't work. If you put the whole thing in speech marks, the parentheses, that will work certainly. And Dovo, thank you very much for the follow. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Confused Twitch together. Got mail subscription with a receipt, and 2 seconds later, the sub was cancelled. You'll be refunded. Oh right, interesting. Interesting that it's worked it out that way and didn't make it 2 months in a row. There we go. So, okay, so cast disenchant / use item / use item / use item. Okay. Thank you, Merrick, for sharing that one. I can see how that would work, certainly. That will do your blues and greens. Right, okay, so is that the item ID for the blues and the which blues are they? Is that just the tie spray linen braces? There's 3 of them there, isn't there? Leather and cloth. Okay. Recommend MBB for you, so your mini-map isn't too cluttered. Oh, do you mean with... is that with the icons around here? Because I've got loads of those. Or is it because of... what does it actually do? It reduces the mini-map buttons and makes them accessible through a pop-out menu. Expand the menu and display the buttons. Each that's collapsed. That's quite nice. I like that. Because I have, as you can see, I've got quite a lot of different ones here. That would be very nice. I'll add these to this. I'll go through this and add everyone's suggestions in. That would be a good idea. Tuberstone. Hey, I'm planning to go through the Buddha store mount, but you're new to gold farming. Any piece of advice? Well, first and foremost, have fun. We're going to go through Taliesin's journey into gold making a bit later, so have a look at that as well, because there may be some interesting bits of information you can get from there. Oh wow, Seathrift coming in with a raiding party of 67. Wow, fantastic. How was your stream, Seathrift? Sorry, Seathrift. How was your giveaway? I saw you were doing a giveaway. Welcome one and all from Seathrift stream. I hope you're all doing well. Big shout out to Seathrift. Another extremely pleasant gold maker. Does a lot of loot appraiser challenges, as we're talking about loot appraiser just here on the blog. But lovely to have you with us. Please go visit Seathrift if you don't follow her already. And thank you all for the follows coming in. Irene, Source Code Will, and Platinum Donut. Thank you all for the follows. Very kind of you. Welcome one and all. For those that don't know, and Downside Up, thank you also for the follow. Welcome one and all. It was a good stream, lots of good likes, and Silithus farming. Oh, fantastic. Good to hear. So, did you manage to win some of your loot appraiser challenges? Hopefully you got a few in. Oh, of course. Fantastic. Well, thank you ever so much for the raid. That was really kind of you. Really do appreciate it. and welcome everybody who's come over from See-Through Stream. I hope you're all having a lovely Sunday so far. We're just going through the Wowhead Economy blog at the moment, talking about add-ons. So if you do have any add-on suggestions that I haven't got on the list, be sure to shout them out, and I'll go through and add those on and do a bit of research and expand on it a bit further. Thank you all for the follows, everyone. Downside Up, Saborges Borg, Tuberstone, Mellow Shroom, and Webgirl. Thank you all. That's very, very kind of you. You nearly 100 add-ons, so you can recommend so many of them. Wow, Jessa. How do you find the performance of your computer with so many add-ons? And do you find them conflicting with each other? Because I know TSM does get confused with certain add-ons, certainly. You see many Kuhn followers' names. Oh, really? That's because Kuhn and I have very different time zones, so it's very nice to see people coming in. Arc Inventory is Bagnon but better. Okay, thank you, Persephone. Very kind of you. I'll add that one as well. So let's have a look. We're going through bag add-ons. These are the main ones I thought of because I use Addy bags myself. I haven't really looked at any other ones, but it's pretty good. It certainly suits me. And then a few different utility add-ons I've gone through here. One I use is Buy 'em All, and another one Bulk Buy. But Buy 'em All is quite handy just for buying up quickly multiple stacks of things, or even the maximum amount of things, which is really handy when you're going to the trader in your garrison and you're not sure how many garrison resources you can afford. You can just buy the maximum amount of something, say like it was a sumptuous fur. That's always handy. You used Arc Inventory for 2 years and wouldn't recommend anything else. Oh, okay, thank you. I'll certainly add that one to the list. Have I messed with the new guild stuff? You can now invite all the alts you want without anyone helping you. Can you? I've not seen this new guild stuff. How would that work? Let me just go and have a... Where would I find that? So let me have a look. Where's my guild stuff? Guild and communities. So on Trader Joe's. So how would I add these in? Is this on PTR or is this something something different? Because these are all my members here. What am I missing here? Let's have a look. It'll just say like this and unblocked you've been doing this thing. Okay, and the community is just refresh, reload, fixes some reasons. Okay. Let me just scroll through the chat, see if I can miss anything. The recruitment button at the bottom. Okay, so if we go recruitment, so list my guild in Guild Finder. Okay. And then focus, social and leveling, looking for, and then can we just add ourselves in there? Could we do that? So social on leveling. Do we have anything specific we can do? Can we just do it for our characters? How would that work? Is that you it can get repetitive. Being annoyed on day 2 is not the way forward. In terms of repetition, definitely. Nasty Infection. Thank you for the follow. Interesting name. Hope you're doing well. What am I missing here on there? You go and set alt after listing the guild and ask to join it. I see, so you have to wait for a confirmation. Okay, so if we accept this, we'll try this, test this out. Okay, create a posting for players to apply. Okay, so we've got that. I just turned that on, I believe. We've got that on, recruitment message. Sam's for alts, something like that. Just going to put something random in there. Accept that. Okay, so we close that down and let's go back to Borealis. Where's Borealis? Over the hill and over that. It's just half stone back. Let's give that a go. Okay. Because we don't have Stabadan in our guild, so this will be useful to find out. We're all learning here. This is fantastic. You can also click invite member and enter the name of the alt. Oh, okay. Joel the Elephant, that might be actually more useful. Let's try it this way, see how we get on. So we'll just do a quick let's have a look how it would work the other way. Guild and communities, invite member. Okay, so add guild member, Stabadan. Accept. And then we go in here and we'll jump back and we'll log out. This is going to be very interesting. So we'll go into here, go to Stabadan. This will be very useful rather than having to use 2 accounts, definitely. All your Hearthstones have disappeared from your toons. That's very strange. I believe you can get them back, though, by talking to an innkeeper. That looks very odd. So now we're here. Azerite Power still available. And so if I go into Guild and Communities. So I don't seem to have an invite or anything here. So if we do a search. Guild size any, select a role, search, how many, there's going to be loads of these, aren't there? Oh no, was that me there? No, that wasn't me. We're going to look for Trader Joe's, so trade, search, there we go, there's Trader Joe's, we'll request to join, it's me, your alt. There we go. And we'll go for, what am I? I think I'm outlaw. We'll apply to that. And we'll pend on that. Okay, we'll turn that down. There we go. Mysteria, thank you very much. 6 months of resubscribing. Thank you very much for your support. That is super duper kind of you. Thank you very much for your support. Let's see, a whole load of emotes for you. Well, I just think I put the wrong one in there, but there we go. There's a bit of everything. Thank you very much. You need to be online on a character that you're inviting for, as far as you remember. I see, so they have to be actually online to use the invite member. That would make sense. Okay, so we've done the request. We've looked at that already. So if we then go back and log out, and then we'll jump back in here. Oh, Happiest, thank you for gifting a sub to Grizzly. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you very much indeed, Happiest. That's incredibly supportive of you to gift subs. Really do appreciate it, so thank you very much. And so we switch back now to Samadan, and we'll accept the new member here. So how long has this been available as a way of recruiting members? Super nice person deserves one. Oh, well, that's very kind of you, as you are too. That's very, very kind of you. Since 8.25, all right. Okay, like 2 to 3 weeks. Well, this is certainly useful for someone with alts. So if we then go back into our guild and communities, and hopefully we can see review applicants from the roster, and select applicants here, applicant history, applicants. Stabadan is here. It's me, your alt. This is fantastic. And so we can click invite, and done that, and then we can turn that off, I guess, and then we go back to Stabadan. We'll just try this out. We'll go through this full loop, and then we'll try this on, and then we'll go back to the go back to the Wowhead blog. But this is definitely good. You got a group. He said free boost. I said you need a hydrocore. You're rubbish. Please let me join. You got an invite. Fantastic, Merrick. Well, it just helps to be friendly, certainly. So they're now in the guild. So now we should look at Stabadan. Let me just turn on the names. That'll probably be easiest. We can see it there. So I don't think I have a. I don't think I have a guild recruit message, but we'll have a look at my name. Click OK, return to game. So we're not a member of the guild yet, according to that. We don't see that yet. Invited to Trader Joe's, so we shall accept. There we go. Click accept. And now we are in. That's fantastic. That's exactly the kind of thing that I'd find useful. And then obviously we can't use the guild bank yet because we need to promote me to officer status, but once I can, I'll be able to go in here, and access all the beautiful goodies that I have in here, because I can't actually go through anything else other than this one enchanting tab. I need to open up all of those and go through those. That's fantastic. I don't have permission for those yet, but that is very useful. That's very useful. Thank you for sharing that one. Pythago, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks a lot for your work on this. Due to your videos, you got the Brutosaur and you're collecting gold further on. Fantastic. Congratulations on your Brutosaur. That's fantastic. Thank God this is the thing. Exactly midnight. That's fantastic. Rather than having to jump between multiple characters. That is definitely useful. I shall have to post something about that on the blog next week, I think. You can hopefully do many ults at the same time. Yeah, definitely, because each of your ults will just be able to apply. That's definitely going to be useful. Don't have to be annoying to your friends all the time. Yeah, that's very easy and intuitive to do. Joel the Elephant, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. You'll make a video about it too. Excellent, Handlebar. Well, ping me a DM when you do, and I'll post a link to it. Give that man a medal, most definitely. What a friends. Exactly. This is a very solo social game. That's kind of like how I like it. Right, so let's have a look. We're going through all the add-ons. We've got lots of lovely suggestions for more add-ons for me to look at, and I'll expand this list as best as I can, and once I've gone through them all. The few other notable ones here. Easy Scrap was definitely a good one. Bill of Synixia also has an alternative, which is also very useful. Does the same thing, but that one even collects up statistics on what you're scrapping. I sold more. I don't tend to use as much these days, but that's to do with giving you the till sound when you sell something. Worth It, this is a new add-on. I haven't looked at it too much myself, but Gumdrop did a post on it a couple of economy blogs ago, and it's had a bit of an upgrade since then, and it gives you lots of different farming information of potential farms you could do, like going over for Zinithid or various other things like coarse leather, and it ties in with TSM, uses the pricing data from there, so it's going to be very interesting to watch that develop, especially for those people that like to farm, certainly. You do love Garrison Mission Manager and World Quest Tracker, yeah, definitely, as well as Handy Notes is also. I don't use Handy Notes as much myself, but I did used to use it when I was doing the Walls of Draenor Pathfinder. That was definitely useful. Looking for specific add-ons or just looking over suggestions? The main thing, Joel, is I'm looking at anything to do that's tied in with gold making, ideally, because some of these are more utility ones down here, but I'm focusing on things that either save you time when it comes to gold making or actually help you in the ways of gold making. Gold, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. How much better is it to use crafting professions to make gold? You've barely been surviving through BfA by farming, and you've run out of items to sell. I would definitely recommend professions. I find they are, for me, certainly the most efficient way of turning your mats into something that's usually worth more, because when you're using something like TSM, that's what you're doing, is you're only making things that are a profit for you. For those that don't use TSM, Postal will let you collect things easily from your mail all at once. Okay, that's a good one to add in, definitely, because not everyone uses TSM. It's definitely useful. They're not permanent pets. What did I miss on that one? We have Chilliners and Zuan. Is that for... Oh, that's for the other thing you're talking about there. The roleplay you love telling people about. Pet emote. Makes your pet do emotes. You can type out for them. Works for hunters, DKs, mages, and warlocks. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Wish monks could have permanent pets too. That would be nice, definitely. That's good to know. And so going through my add-ons, we went through all of these. Handy Notes and Vendor Price is also another good one if you don't have a auction house add-on, just to stop you from selling anything below vendor price. It's definitely useful. Could use Rarity to track attempts on certain items you're farming. That's the kind of thing that would interest you. Yep, I know, was it Hazel was having like 17,000 attempts on the June scavenger. You probably use something like that to track it. That was absolutely loads of attempts trying to get that one. Is it worth selling transmog that goes for like 1 to 2k? I would give it a go if you've got enough of them. That used to be when I was selling transmog that I had. That would be my ballpark figure, as I really wouldn't go with anything less than that, certainly. But it all depends on your server. And the thing with transmog is it doesn't move that quickly. So you do need quite a lot of them on. But maybe wait until 8.3 when it'll be a lot easier for the regular user to be able to just search for things they haven't got. And then you might find your sales will better there. That's the same add-on. Okay. 17,361 attempts before she got it. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Transmog also sells well on RP servers. It does, but also a lot of people think that and know that, and so you do get the converse of that, is that those markets tend to get flooded by a lot of people. Posting costs will go down too in 8.3. Yes, this is also true, especially with some of the mats that are artificially high prices at the moment, which is really annoying. Use 1k as a guideline for transmog items. Yeah, I think that 1k is a good basis, certainly. And Akarino and Roang18, thank you very much for the follows. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Your main server is Moonguard, so you know definitely. Cobra scale posting costs. Yeah, I mean, some of those are certainly quite crazy. I know some of the transmutes are particularly expensive that I've avoided. It just completely kills the market for them, unfortunately. Don't worry, you don't hang in gold, Chair. Actually play the game. That's fair enough, Jetta. But it's good to know that transmog works for you. Because I was going through Taliesin's bit in the bottom, and I wasn't really recommending transmog, but maybe that's something he can look into as another option. I know Argent Dawn is one of the more popular EU RP servers, certainly. So going on from my Wowhead blog, let's carry on with this. So we also had another great spreadsheet come out into the... we talked about this briefly in my stream last week, but I didn't get a chance to cover it on the blog, so I've added it in here, which is a great little spreadsheet, really easy to use and track your gold if you are going for the Brutasaur mount. The end date is the end of July, so it's quite tight in its timings. Most people are thinking kind of end of August or later for the Brutasaur coming out. So if you do stick to this, then you'll definitely get your gold in time. So it's worth having a look at. There's the Reddit post and the spreadsheet links are all on there if you're interested in that one. And then a little bit on classic gold making. Lazy Goldmaker has done a great podcast this week, going through his review of gold making. He's just recently got to level 60 and was able to buy his epic mount. So it's a very interesting podcast. Go through and listen to that as to what his thoughts are on the state of classic gold making at the moment. Definitely worth a listen to. To be honest, enchanting, tailoring, alchemy, and the only money-making professions nowadays. The rest of professions require investment in. The old tiers and sales are quite random. Yeah, do you find blacksmithing and inscription are potential ones there as well? I would add those in. Inscription is still good, but you have to have the raid patterns. Yeah, which I've not got to yet. I'm still starting on inscription, so I've still got a bit of work to do on that one. Yeah, and as I don't raid on my rogue, that's going to be an interesting one, certainly. You looted a blue item from the Dead Mines this week, worth 60,000 gold. Use it right away so you save 60k on your collection. Well, there you go, you can look at it that way. You've saved yourself gold by using it. Like the Skimpy Jade armour, sometimes like 10k a piece. Oh, interesting. And I think, isn't it some of the Azure cloth as well has good roleplay transmog as well, I think. Blacksmithing has mounts to sell, but you're still miffed you can't sell any leatherworking or tailoring mounts. I do occasionally sell a flying carpet from time to time. I have had a couple of sales of those, certainly. And you can get those from the raid finder if need be. Okay. I'll have to give that a go on Stabadan, hopefully. So all things, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. So my last section on the blog was all about Taliesin, and he has recently, if you've been following his streams this week, has been recently getting into gold making. And people like Want to Buy Gold and Simply Suzu and myself have been trying to help him out in refining his gold making, but he's already doing really well without us. So I went through and just thought, okay, this would be a great case study of someone who isn't really into gold making or hasn't been. He does have TSM and knows how to use it in its loosest sense. So this would be a really good example of what someone would do if they're looking to make some gold. You get 10 to 15 cores per week. Hydrocore for bag. Oh, right. And use your postal as your main add-on too. There's a drop down for the alt names. Or the drop down for the alt names would be definitely useful. But they're tailoring only. Yes, that's the problem with the mounts, isn't it? Certainly. Did Suzu just get a shout out as a gold maker? Certainly did. She's been helping Taliesin. I believe she's a mod on Taliesin's stream. I've got a link to her right down the bottom here on the, if you want to follow her from there. And Once My Gold's Twitch stream is there as well. So going through Taliesin's journey, as it were, what do you do if you want to make enough for the Brutosaur? So that's his target. That's the goal. Okay, I want to buy the Brutosaur. What can I do? So the first thing I'd always suggest is take stock. Where are you at? What have you got? So in his case, he's already got 1.5 million gold just through passively playing. So that's a really, really good start. And if you do the math on that in terms of how much he would need to earn a day, that's about 12,000 gold a day. So what else has he got? He plays on Argent Dawn, so it's an RP server. We talked about transmog, and that it does sell for some people. You've never had 1 million gold, lol. Well, you've come to the right place, because this way we can make everyone millionaires. One of your best friends, and he'd love to got a shout out. Oh, fantastic, Persephone. I'm glad. That's really cool. How often do I do the alchemy blacksmithing cooldowns living still? Is there a way to gather the required materials from the pre-made task list TSM has? Yes, I tend to buy all the materials. I have shopping operations for the materials, and I buy them ahead of time so that I can always have a stock of them so that I can do the cooldowns as and when they come up. That's the main thing, really. Link to this post? Yep, certainly. We'll put one in here. Wowhead. There we go. And it's just gone live on Wowhead. Oh, Oreo's just getting up. Clever Unicorn. Love the name. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. And, oh, Oreo's just gone. Sorry, I'll just turn this camera off for the moment so you're not just looking at a blue rug. You can look at a drain instead. And then when he comes back, I'll turn the camera back on. Well, I've also just gone AFK, so let me just rectify that. Where's my mouse cursor gone? Well, there we go. Let's move forward a little bit. Then we'll come back. And where's my window gone? Let's go back to that one. There we go. And Ogoroth, thank you very much for using your Prime. That's very kind of you. Olive tomato flavour. Whoops. Flavour was not compatible with your brain, oh dear. Thank you very much, Ogoroth, for the using your Prime. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you for your support. Really is appreciated. Welcome to the Samadan squad. Here is a whole load of emotes for you to use. You need the AFK macro. What does that do, game on end? Does that just give you flash it red when you're going at AFK? That would be quite useful if I did. Right, apologies if I missed anything in the chat as I'm going through the blog post. I'll try and run through this in one go, and then I'll go through and catch up on chat. Stellar Stream, thank you very much for the follow. Very kind of you. Oh, thank you, Ogoroth. Very kind of you to say so. And KSP, thank you also for the follow. So we're talking about Taliesin's journey. And so he's on an RP server. And the great thing that Taliesin has is he's got loads of alts at his disposal. and he plays quite a number of hours during the day. So those are really good base points for making gold. So it's a very strong position to be in. Now, because he's got alts and multiple alts on both factions, there's a chance that he could sell PvP gear, which is faction specific, on both of them. So I'm talking about the Notorious gear at the moment, although that's probably on the tail end of the market at the moment, because the Uncanny gear is coming out in 8.3, so that would be a great thing to focus on. But in order to do that on both factions, you'd need a tailor, a leatherworker, and a blacksmith on both factions, which is quite a lot to do, and you'll need an awful lot of marks of honour to be able to buy the rank 2 and 3 recipes for that. So that's certainly doable, but it was something you'd have to work towards. And Argent Dawn is 71% Alliance, so maybe it's better to just focus on Alliance. Ah, Dave, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Just recently come back to retail. Really need to dig into where to start. How are you? Thanks ever so much for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're literally just going through Taliesin's gold making journey as to what he's going to do to buy the Brutal Mount. So this is a great start in terms of how I would approach getting back into retail and looking at taking stock of what you've got at your disposal, and how you can make some gold. So we talked about all the different PvP gear you could possibly make here. So this is the most important thing, I think, is the key question is, what do you find fun? I mean, if you're going to be doing gold making seriously, you're going to be spending a lot of time doing this, so you've really got to enjoy it. That's the main thing more than anything else. Quarren, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. How many characters would be ideal if you want to use crafted professions for gold making? Well, if you double them up, you could probably get away with 5 or 6, I would say. I've got... How many have I got at the moment? How many 120s? I've got 4 at the moment, but I've doubled up on Herbalism at the moment with Stabadan, my rogue. Are you coming back? How are you? He's had some food, so he's going to come back and join us. So let's turn his camera back on. There we go. Let's see if he can settle down. You find gold fun. Exactly, Darkwing. That's the main thing. Right, you get yourself into position, are you? See, it's almost as if he knows exactly where the camera is. He's so photogenic. You've made 1 million gold solely on the mount and supercharged engines. That's fantastic, Jenny. That's congratulations. Immerse Cap, thank you very much for the follow. What a star! Yes, he's just giving himself a groom now because he's just been busy eating. Can you give me some gold? Well, if you're on my server, I can happily give you some gold. But at the moment, I'm kind of tied up in trying to make some here. So let's go through and finish off the blog, because otherwise I won't make any gold at the moment. Good evening, Kerhol. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. What you'll do to make gold, not doing anything too much, do a little everything. Yes, exactly. Diversity is definitely useful. So we're looking at what you find fun. That's the main thing. So looking at what Taliesin finds fun, he says he doesn't like doing the pets, so that's a no-go. And he also mentioned that he doesn't like the linear nature of doing old dungeons. But he does like doing a bit of farming, like 2x4 farming, and a bit of solo farming, as well as professions. So that's a great place to start. And he's already doing this. He's doing Zenithid farmed solo, going around and farming up some of that. And that kind of has a value about 1,600 gold for every 100. So, and he's using that to turn into his alchemy. So he's using the, he's got the Silas Sphere on one of his characters. So he can make potions using the Silas buff. And so he's gone through TSM and he sorted all that out. Everyone was very helpful on his stream getting that set up. And then he's got some other alchemists who are doing their daily cooldown for the bag of anchors, which gives you 10 anchor weed from buying the other herbs, which is usually quite cheap. So he's got himself all set up with alchemy. I've recently set up alchemy myself, so I've got a link to my video guide on getting set up with alchemy if you are interested in getting yourself leveled up to the Silas point, which is a really strong position to be in. Awakening, my alchemist, has now currently got about 350,000 gold since he's got set up, so he's completely independent now, so that's really good. So it's certainly something I would recommend at this stage. You made most of your Brutal doing food as your main source. Yeah, cooking is quite underrated. I get consistent sales with my cooking, I really do enjoy it as a secondary profession, certainly. LA, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Boosting Jane amount, heroic, mythic plus farming, engineering mounts, old mounts, transmog runs on speed druid, starting with herving as multi-boxing. That's lots of really good different ways to make gold there. Definitely good. Fantastic WoW mounts and how to earn them. That's brilliant. I love that one, Darkwing. That's fantastic. And Jack, straight in there with 12 months. Gold tip of the year. The more gold you make in the small amount of time, the more gold you have to make more gold. Fantastic tip, Jack. And how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Thank you very much for 12 months. That's 1 whole year. Thank you very much for your continued support. That really is appreciated. If you weren't already a VIP, I'd be making you a VIP, but thank you very much. And the more time you have to make, the more gold. Exactly. The more time you the more time you put into making gold, also the more gold you'll make, certainly. Did I miss a few other bits on there? Annette. Oh, I missed you there, Annette. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. What else did I miss? Is herb farming worth it in retail these days? Yes, it's not as profitable as it was, but it's certainly worth doing. Certainly Zenithid, I would do that. If you got alchemy as well, then definitely. Oh, Dave, thank you. You are the best man. Oh, that's incredibly kind of you, Dave. Thank you very much for your support. That is super appreciated. And those, in the rare instance that they don't know Dave, please go check him out, because he is an awesome freelance artist and art. There we go. I think that should work. Go check out his YouTube and Twitch channels and throw him a support on Patreon. He does amazing art, a lot of WoW related art as well. So be sure to check him out. And Callie the Hunter, thank you very much for the follow. That's very kind of you. I love the cat alert. Cat lover here too. No problem. Ori's just gone off to sit up at the top here. So he's just gone off into the distance. I don't think I can zoom in on him too much. Let me just see if I can. He's just going to set himself down because he loves a fleece blanket. So let me just change his properties here. Figured the video. If I can zoom in. Oh, he's disappearing off into the side there. So you're not going to see him now. So I might as well turn his camera off. He's right there in the background. I'll leave him there for the moment, but he'll disappear off because he likes to go right in the corner there. You can actually see his tail behind my ear on this camera, actually. So you've got a bit of double Oreo in there. Am I sitting on the floor? I am indeed, Olaf. It is super comfortable, and I'm in my living room of my house. So I'm sat in front of my TV, and this is my computer to the next side of me. So it's the most convenient and it's the most powerful computer I've got in the house. So for me, it works really well. Can't blame him. Fleece blankets are so warm and cozy. Exactly. Yeah, I'll turn his camera off because he's completely disappeared on that one. But you can at least see him just in the corner there. So you've still got a bit of Oreo just in the end. Right, I know I've missed a few of the bits in chat there. So let me just carry on with... I'll say goodbye, take care, I'll check some other time. Okay, thank you, Supporters Borg. Thank you ever so much for stopping by. I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and I hope to see you again soon. It's not a computer, it's a potato. Well, original computer PC, Mr. Potato. This is Mr. Potato 2.0, which has some lovely components, kindly donated by Jack here, and running very nicely and solidly ever since we got them. And I've added in everything else that has been funded by you lovely people here on the stream. So thank you all for giving me the ability to stream further and better. No, Potato Mr. 2, something like that, definitely. Right, so let's just quickly go through this. So we're talking about alchemy, which is a really good way of making gold, certainly. It's working well on my character, and it's working well for Taliesin at the moment. He's all set up with that. So Want to Buy Gold, is very knowledgeable on his farming spots, because he does a lot of farming for his own materials. So he suggested to Taliesin a really nice 2x4 farming spot, which he's been using to get loads of tide spray linen and deep sea satin, as well as being able to get that mount we were talking about that Hazel took ages to get. He managed to get it in on his first session, so that was incredibly lucky, and that sells for a decent amount as well on the auction house. So the 2x4, if you don't know about it, it's basically 2 groups of 4, all in the same area, hyper spawning mobs, and everyone can tag it and everyone can loot. Student Albatross has a really good video explaining the process about it, and I've got a link to the video here in the blog, so that's definitely worth doing. And then, so the reason he's collecting the cloth is basically he's getting started in my territory of expertise, the Bracer Super Shuffle. Nico Genio, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So what Taliesin is doing at the moment is he's using all his tide spray that he's collecting, and he's doing what we suggest, which is disenchant the blues and scrap the greens. And then he's taking the greens, and he's actually currently making honourable satin bracers, because he's only got a tailor at the moment. But he has got Ewan's enchanting rod on his enchanter, so he's at least getting the maximum number of materials returned. So this is a great first step of using your tide spray into turning it into something better. You should call it the shuffle. But in order to make this even more efficient, which was the process I've gone through in a couple of videos, is then using a leather worker, because a leather worker can usually make bracers far cheaper than the deep sea satin bracers. So basically the route here is to use an enchanter, a leather worker and a tailor. So usually the tailor makes the tide spray linen bracers, then you can disenchant the blues to get enchanting mats. You then scrap the greens, usually on the leather worker, because the leather worker can usually make either honourable or sinister or notorious, whichever one's the cheapest, and it could be either leather or mail. It all depends on the price of your materials on your server. They make those bracers, send them back to the enchanter, and the enchanter disenchants those for a guaranteed at least 1 veiled crystal, if not more, when they disenchant all those purples. So that's a really good process of maximising your efficiency. And I've gone over this quite often with my spreadsheet and everything, so I won't repeat it here. But that's the main premise of it anyway. Vessels from Inscription are usually even cheaper than leather bracers. Interesting, Olaf. I haven't done Inscription yet, but once I do, I'd definitely like to include that into my my system here. But thank you for adding that one in. Oh, Eliath, thank you very much for the host as well. And Darth Duck, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So we went through the Bracer Super Shuffle here, talking about efficiency really, using the spreadsheet to see if it's profitable for you. So I would definitely recommend this, so long as you don't mind doing a lot of scrapping and a lot of disenchanting, because that's the main focus of your time. Especially when you're making a huge amount of enchants, because you need a lot of veiled crystals. So long as you don't mind that, the Bracer Shuffle is definitely a way to make a decent chunk of gold by combining several professions in one go. Doesn't work for everyone on every server because prices are different, but if you can get a decent price on tide spray, a decent price on either coarse leather or shimmer scale, and the enchants aren't going for like rock bottom prices, then usually there's some margins to be made there, certainly. And now you're hungry. Oh, did I miss something further there? Does Ewan's Rod give increased returns on disenchanting blues? It does, Joel. If you don't have Ewan's Rod, when you disenchant a blue, you won't ever get a veiled crystal. But if you do have Ewan's Rod, then there is a chance of getting a veiled crystal on disenchanting the blues. So it's definitely worth doing. Ignis, greetings to you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely week so far. How's your work schedule going? Hope it's settled down a bit. Making you useful today. Oh, you got the shuffle in there. Excellent, fantastic. Sorry if I've missed anything in chat. I've been trying to focus on going through the blog here. So if I have missed any of your messages, please do shout them out again and I'll try and get back to you if I have missed you. More relaxed this end of the year. Ah, fantastic, Ignis. Good time for some WoW, perhaps. So basically, that was where Taliesin is at the moment. So it'll be really nice to see him developing the shuffle further. If that's something he's going to find fun, I've got a feeling he may get to a point where I'll go, right, I'm not going to bother doing all this disenchanting and scrapping. It's just too much hassle. But you never know. He may find it enjoyable, and he may also enjoy the gold side of it. So it's one to follow. If you do want to follow him and you don't already, follow his Twitch channel. And also, Want to Buy Gold and Simply Suzu are both also awesome streamers and good gold makers that are helping him out. So go through and give them a follow as well. So that pretty much is it as far as the Wowhead blog goes. That's pretty much covered everything. If you do have any questions or any suggestions for add-ons and things, please put them in the comments below, and I'll respond to those as best I can, timescale permitting. And if you've got any suggestions for any future articles, be sure to hit me a message and I can add them in as well. So we'll move on from that. I'll pop this on over here because poor old... Oh, I've gone orange on my stream there. Let me just see if it settles back down. Hopefully I haven't got too many drop frames then. And we can back on Stabadan and we can go through and look at all my mailboxes for this week, see what's been selling at the moment. Now everyone's going to do the gold shuffles and prices will drop. It's possible. It depends on whether people can really be bothered to set it up completely. I know it's pretty heavy in terms of spreadsheet usage, so it may put a few people off. Did I include Farm HUD? I did indeed. It was part of the GatherMate 2 and the data and the Roots add-ons. It was definitely useful. Not everyone is ready to spend several hours shuffling. Exactly. I think it takes a certain mindset that's prepared to do that, focusing obviously on the gold at the end, certainly. Right, we'll come back to Stabadan because he's getting up in his herbalism. But we will go over onto Samadan and check the mailboxes first. You're new to gold farming. Any tips? Certainly, source code will. We just went through it on the Wowhead blog, covering Taliesin's journey. But the main thing that I always say to people is do what's fun first and foremost, because you're going to be doing a lot of it. So if it's not enjoyable, make sure it's enjoyable. And then if it's farming, or whether it's doing professions, or whether it's doing old dungeons, there's always an opportunity for everyone. Did you miss the mailboxes? No, not yet. We're just about to go into them, Mushy. Actually do it right now while you're watching me. Fantastic. Does the stream get featured every online, or is it just from the gold blog? It's just from the gold blog, Ignis. So when it goes live at the same time that I start my stream, and then I go through the blog, and then I take the embed off once I finish streaming, and so that anyone wants to look at the WoW Economy Wrap-Up for the rest of the week, they don't. My stream isn't embedded in there. As much as I would love to stream 24/7, I just don't have the time, unfortunately. Really enjoy cooking. I don't know whether you can make a considerable amount of gold from it. You certainly can. Others from earlier have said that they can make gold from cooking. I dabble in it myself, as you can tell with my chef's hat, and Pierre's around here somewhere. There he is. But I certainly can make a reasonable amount. Mainly the things I'm selling at the moment. I sell the occasional bountiful captain's feast from time to time. I don't do the other big feast at the end, the snack table, because I don't tend to get a lot of spare crates, and I've only got rank 2 on that one. Dead Poet, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. The other things that are working out quite well at the moment is both baked potato and biltong. Those have got really good sale rates for me, so I'll definitely go for that for a as a staple for my food. I should really stock up on more of these because I don't have enough. So long as you can get the materials cheaply enough, certainly. So now, source good is cheap. Source food is cheap. As in, what do you mean by source food? As in the things like stringy loins and meaty haunch, the materials going into it, certainly. That would definitely be worth it. Retail in on a low, it'll be even bigger with the new add-on. Let's hope so Ignis. I'm certainly enjoying it so far. Obviously, a lot of these are embedded views, so it's not, in reality, the number of views isn't as high, but it's lovely to have you all here, whether you're looking through the Wowhead blog or are here directly. Thank you all for taking the time out to join me on the stream, so it really is appreciated. And ooh, DK Man, thank you very much for the follow. Lurking, no worries, Handsful. Realised today that TSM Mail add-on lets you buy more than 200 items from the vendor. Yes, it does. It's got that kind of built in. You just type in whatever number you need. The thing I like about the buy 'em all add-on, especially when I'm using my garrison, is it allows me to buy the maximum amount I can buy with my garrison resources. So that's pretty handy. So in terms of sales this week, I haven't really. This is my mailbox over the whole week mainly. I think there was a couple on Monday, Tuesday where I opened them and didn't record them. So this is, I've got 71 in the mail at the moment for Samadan. So this is the kind of things that I've sold so far. We've got 89,900 on the first page. So the kind of things that we've got here. So enchanting wise, this is quite good. Tome of Illusions, Secrets of the Shadow Pan, Northrend and Draenor have all sold. So cooking wise, we've got some here. We've got the Abyssal Fried Risole, Fragrant Cacavia, and what other food have we got here? Baked potato here, another 30 baked potato there, and some biltong down here. So food is selling well, so that's a good start. What else got? I'd like to focus your time on feasts, but the issue is you don't know whether they have a good selling rate. I find the Bountiful Captain's Feast, certainly. I don't know about the other ones. They have a hit and miss sale rate for me at the moment. Sometimes they do sell, but quite often it's the individual food that sells more regularly for me, certainly. You're a baby goblin in fold farming. You like to do mat gathering and run raw gold farms and do mount farms. Since you started a year ago, you made 2 million gold in just a few short hours. A night after work. Glad you found your channel to learn more. Rated mostly before seriously getting into gold making. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, this is the place to be, certainly. What do they sell for? The Bountiful Captain's Feast for me sell for about 1,800, 1,500. Around about that is the going price for me at the moment. Or was there a swiftness pot for 2 gold there? There might have been, actually. Where is that? I tend to have... Yes, there we go. I tend to have that just thrown in because I get that as a PvP reward. So I literally just throw that on. I don't actually use them myself, so I just put them in there. Death Stubbs, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. How do I set up TSM so you don't accidentally sell your crafts for less than the price you paid for the mats? So the main thing with TSM on that front, most of my operations... if we go into something here, so we use crafting as a minimum price, so things don't sell for more than crafting cost, and I put a little bit extra on the percentage on there. So let's say for light meals, let's take this for them. Actually, I'm not selling any of those at the moment. Let's look at 8.2 meals. So cooking in tens. So my operation for this. So my maximum is 106% crafting, which is that's my minimum price, which is the maximum between each of these things. So 106% is the lowest it will go. It won't go any less than that. So if it's not a profit, it won't post that. That's the main thing there, the percentage in crafting. That's the main part. Did I try the Comp Stomp PvP event? I did, Kehol. It was fantastic. I managed to get all 4 of my 120s, managed to get all of their marks of honour, It was really, really quick as well. I did it over my lunch break for a couple of them. And then I'm now working on the Soldier of Our Time for the 10 marks of honour for each one. So that's definitely definitely useful. Yes, Handlebar, please do. That'll be useful. You've got 185 sweetness potions, fantastic. So going through what else have we got in the mail here. So we got the enchants, obviously, some old world enchants as well as some regular ones. But look at this, we've got quite a lot of notorious gear still selling. Pants, cloak, boots, braces, mittens, belt, all for really reasonable prices, like 9,000, 8,000 gold there, 10,000 gold for a pair of pants there. So it looks like the notorious gear is still selling really strongly, which makes me quite positive for the uncanny gear when it comes in 8.3. And when below min, you used to don't post. It depends. Sometimes I do post at minimum price because you never know. Someone might skip through and that might be the only one available. So it depends. If you're willing to soak up the extra posting cost, because obviously you're putting on more frequently when it might not necessarily sell. So it's quite nice to have it on there anyway, but obviously you do have the extra posting costs on there. But for most of my things, it's overall all right. How much do you think will be a fair price on the uncanny gear? I think that it all depends on the crafting cost. See what the materials come out at. But I've got a feeling the uncanny gear will probably be in the same ballpark as the notorious gear. So anything between 1 to 15,000 as a rough guess. But we'll let the market dictate it. If other people are going to be willing to buy it for more than that, then even better. How well do I think the uncanny gear will sell compared to the new BoA gear being introduced? I think it's going to be very similar to how it is now. The notorious sales didn't do that well right at the beginning because they were competing with benthic gear. But now I'm finding that notorious gear is still selling quite strongly. So it seems to have picked up quite a bit as it's progressed. So initially it was quite disappointing. When benthic gear came out, it seemed that was the thing to do. But it seems like people are going for quick and easy. And notorious gear, you can get exactly what you want at the point you want it. So it all depends on what the other BoA gear is going to be like in terms of stats, and whether people just simply want to level up their alts really quickly and gear them up really quickly to get them into the next phase. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm quietly hopeful. I think it's going to be good overall. And new 120s from the AV event, yeah, there's quite a lot of those at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. So let's quickly go through, is there anything else we missed here? Seabreeze saddle blanket was quite good there. And we've got some tailoring here, green linen shirt, green lumberjack shirt, Hexweave bags, quite a good price there at 1,600. Another Seabreeze saddle blanket there. So I'll wait for this timer to go round to a minute again, and then I'll open this up and see what's on page 2. For material and food, post makes sense on how you say it. For your transmog recipes, you won't. You need a load of expulsum, you believe. Yeah, that you've got to think about your price of expulsum, which for me, I'm using the bracer shuffle to get it, so my price is built in there. Let's open up that 89,000. Collect expulsum now to craft new gear in 8.3. It wouldn't hurt to have at least a good stock of it, so you can be ready on day one. And the same with Marks of Honour as well. See if you can get yourself some Marks of Honour ahead of time, just to make sure that you're as efficient as possible. I find that even though I haven't got everything rank 3 in the Notorious section, I'm still making a decent profit. But I'm trying to get as much Marks of Honour as I can right now, which is why I did the Comp Stomp this week, which is definitely useful on every 120 you have. And now I'm going through the Soldier of Your Time, which gives you another 10. Oh, Simply Susie, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. How are you? Good to have you here. We were just talking about you earlier. I linked to your Twitch channel on the Wowhead blog as we were talking about Taliesin. So I hope you don't mind. And Lady Eleanor, thank you also for the follow. Didn't realise you weren't following me, no problem. You disenchant blue, scrap green, yeah? What do you do with the dropped green, disenchant or scrapped? I disenchant them usually, or sell them if they're BOE and you think they're useful. No problem, Suzu. You've been most helpful in getting Taliesin off the ground, so it's the least I could do. You do the Korok quest that gives you 10 marks of honour. Yes, exactly. That's the soldier of our time quest that I was talking about. I'm currently going through that on all my characters. I did that earlier today on Samadan here, so we got another 10 marks of honour with him. I was just starting with Awakening my druid, so he's got a little bit of a way to go yet. So in terms of page 2 sales, so we've got 30,000 on here, so add that to my 90,000, we've got about 120,000 on Samadan this week. More Hexweave bags, more Notorious gear, and a little bit more food, some gloves, and then the basic enchants, Force Multiplier, Accord of Versatility. Not great prices on those, but Machinist Brilliance is a really good price there at 1,800, so I was able to catch a reset on that. So all in all, Samadan's done quite well for this week, 120,000. You can do the Korok quest that gives you 10. You can do it on a trial as well. Can you really, Lazy Titan? That's very interesting. I'm slightly reserved about using trials for that purpose, because to me it feels a little bit like cheating. I'd rather spend that time focusing on leveling an owl. I would take, say, my Death Knight, El Morte, and I'll try and get him leveled up through it. Good evening, Gwylyn. How are you? Hope your week's been good. Hope all is well with you and your family. Do not sell green trinkets, by the way. They have 100% chance to give Expulsum. Oh yes, good point actually. Trinkets are good for Expulsum. Any info on gear, professions, eye level for Shadowlands level overhaul? I really don't know. I think it's too early to say at this stage. Let's wait until it starts getting to the sort of beta stage and we can see what kind of things people are doing. So I'm pretty much done on the mailbox here. I restocked on Samadan earlier, so we'll leave him for the moment and we'll go and check the mail on everyone else. So let's check Awakening, see if we can get a Silas proc on his alchemy as well. So, oh yes, we were in Korok's Revenge earlier, and unfortunately I had to exit quickly, so let's see if I can just jump out of this. I'll probably just need to Hearthstone back, I imagine. Let's see what comes through. Oh yes, we are just here. That's easy enough. Right, let's close that down and that down. I'll probably need to Hearthstone back. So the quest we were talking about was this one, Soldier of Time. I've actually managed to complete it, surprisingly. So you need 500 honour. So I'll finish this one off now. So we get 10 marks of honour for doing this, which is really handy. So I'm going to complete that one. So that's another 10 marks of honour that we're going to send over to Samadan, because Awakening doesn't need the marks of honour. Actually, no, I'll send them over to Earthen. So let's just Hearthstone out from here for the moment. Oh, Gwylyn, thank you very much. 18 months. That's absolutely amazing amount of support. Thank you very much indeed, Gwylyn. That's super duper kind of you. In fact, I don't know why I hadn't done that earlier. Thank you very much for your continued support. That is very much appreciated. Thank you, Gwylyn. Oh, what am I doing here? I need to be in Borealis, really. You don't need to be here. There we go. And Face as well, thank you very much for the follow. But Gwylyn, thank you very much for your continued support. Here's a whole load of emotes for you to use as you like. Thank you very much. Only thing they verified is the return of legendaries, and I think they talked being able to craft Legos. Aha, I see. What else did I miss? Let's go to that. The current quest gives did that one. Did that, we did that. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I think they verified, yep, we did that one. Okay, so let's get myself to a mailbox here. This is probably the easiest place to have a look. And we'll go to my favourite mailbox in Dalaran, around the corner here, right next to the bank. So before I start, let's just have a quick look at the Silas prop. Oh no, I don't have that on this specialisation. Let me just add this in. So what I want to do, I currently resto at the moment, so I want to add in, not the Draenic Philosopher's Stone, the Silas Sphere of Transmutation. We'll pop this here. Now what I'm hoping for is the Potion of Prosperity. With any luck, I'll get that now. We do! Fantastic! We got the Potion of Prosperity, so we can make some potions. So we'll do this, and we'll do that, and then we'll check our auction house first. Just check what we've got on at the moment. So I reposted these earlier today, so those are all on, and now I can do a restock of these. So we'll go over onto my alchemy, and we'll go to my group, and we'll restock on the Silas rank 3s. So there's a lot of things we can make here. I don't have quite enough sand shifter for this, so let me just see if I can buy some for that. Let's move this over here. I've got a shopping operation for sand shifter, so let's just have a look at sand shifter. This has been going really expensive on my server at the moment, but the Dimitri's potion has been selling quite well. So what's my mat cost at the moment? 57 gold, and it's now up to 91 gold. So that's pretty expensive. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, so let me just check my numbers. So I need, that's just over 61, I think. Wowhead Goldmaking, thank you very much. Last time you tuned into Twitch, it was like 50 year stream. I'm happy to see it blown up. Oh, thank you, Stalkers. Thank you, Stalkers. Yes, it's all through the Wowhead blog, so it's nicely inflated. Where's Ruben? Oh yes, that Ruben is Gumdrops' cat. But if you're looking for Oreo, if you look closely, hold on, let me just go full screen. If you look behind me, here is Oreo. He's right in the corner, he's right next to Catbus, who's just in front of him there. So he's snuggled away. Normally he's right by my side, but at the moment he's got himself to a nice warm, cuddly spot in the corner. Ruben's been replaced by Oreo. Ruben's a lovely cat. He's very elegant. Is it 1 hour 59 already? Wow, time is really flying past. Oreo plus Catbus equals happiness, exactly. So we need, I'll go back onto this, how much sand shift do we need? We need to get ourselves about 71 sand shifter, so let's have a quick look here. We might as well buy this at a slightly higher price and see what our profit margins are like, see if we can swallow this up a little bit whilst I want to make them. So I'm going to buy 75 for now. I'll check back later. I mean, if you're looking for a gold making opportunity, going fishing for sand shifter right now would be a good thing to do. So I'm going to take that lot and I'll pick those up out the mailbox. I'll just take the buys for now. We'll collect the rest of the mail later. That's 49,000 in potions we've got waiting for us. So let's move back. So alchemy wise, we need to make sure we've got the buff. Now sometimes this bugs out in TSM, so I'm going to see which ones I can make for this. So the first things first, we need to get the Potion of Prosperity. It lasts for 10 minutes, so I won't look at chat for the moment. I'll just quickly go and make these as quickly as possible. So we're looking at the procs here on the left. I've got a couple of ×2s at the moment for Unbridled Furies, and the ×3 there. Now let's try Abyssal Healing Potions. We'll go through that one. I don't know exactly, Rose. I mean, it is used in the Dimitri's Draft of Deception, and I am selling a few of those, so that's possible. We've got a ×4 and a ×5 on Abyssal Healing Potions there, so that's good. And then let's go through Superior Battle Potion of Intellect. Let's get these. Now what I might do on Awakening is do this as quickly as possible and then log off on him so I can keep as much of this buff as possible ready for next time I log on. So I'll quickly go through his mail, which is mainly potion sales from here. And then we've gone through those. Superior Battle Potion of Strength. So this is all on my crafting operations that I've got set up. If you follow my alchemy, getting started in alchemy series, I go through all the steps as to how I set this up, especially the third video, I believe it is. Oh, we got a ×10 there in Battle Potion of Strength. That was lucky. But I go through the process of setting all this up. Once it's set up, I mean, we've got 306,000 gold at the moment, so we're in a good position now with just making some steady gold with this. So long as you can get the Silas buff, that's the main thing. And then a Lightfoot potion, we'll make these. First time you caught me live, always watch those. Well, thank you, Zelith the Druid, and Farmer True, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. And Dark Onika, thank you also for the follow. Sorry if I've missed anything on chat whilst I'm going through this, and just focusing on making these potions whilst I've got the buff, because I'm kind of on a time limit. Nut, Zach, and Juan by Juan, thank you both for the follow. Right, the expensive ones here, Dimitri's Drafted Deception, it's still got a 54 gold profit, so even with that sand shifter at a higher price, we're making a profit on this. So I'm happy with that. We'll carry on with that for the moment. We've got a few there, a few ×2s. Oh wow, I've got a ×16 there on Dimitri's Drafted Deception, that was useful. Right, and then I'm going to quickly post these on whilst I've still got 8 minutes left. So we'll go through that, and then we'll post these on quickly. We want to keep this time for the next time I log on. So we will go to auctioning, we'll post everything on. Now with these I also have a, if it's below min price, post at minimum price, because you never know how much people are going to be going through the potions. So there's a few here that are below min price, quite a lot in fact, but there are some we're undercutting the competition on, so there's a definite profit on those. So I'll run through those quickly, get those posted on, and then we'll just quickly open the mail. So this is all the things that have sold so far. 50,000 in the mail on recent potion sales this week. A lot of Unbridled Fury there. So those have gone through. So we are now sitting on a very respectable 355,000. So I'm going to quickly log off into Awakening now and keep that 7-minute buff for next time I log on. Oh no, don't want the meat wagon. Let me just log out. There we go. And then I'll check up on chat. There we go. What did I miss? Leafy Seal, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Does my crafting profit already include the Silas procs? It doesn't much include the procs, but I've accounted for it in my formula, in my crafting operation. I've times everything by 1.7. You can either do that, or you can take the mat price and times that by 0.6. It kind of results in the same thing. Mooses, thank you very much for the follow. How do you adjust the craft to account for Silas? Oh yes, so that was the main thing. Is you either put it in the crafting cost. The main thing I'd suggest is go onto my YouTube channel and look at my TSM. I think it's the Deep Dives playlist that has the alchemy playlist in there. And I go through on the last video how I set up TSM to account for the Silas prop. Does it work on old content? No, it only works on rank 3s on current BfA content. Why does the profit column update while crafting? Because what I've got is smart averages turned on, so TSM is calculating the price of my raw materials based on what I have, how many I have in my bags, and because I recently bought some at a really high price, or some things are bought at different prices, as I have less and less in my bags, TSM is changing the average number of my average buy price, so you can see the profit changing as I craft something. Good evening, Bullseye. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Old content before Drain, I've got Potion Elixir and Transmute Mastery. Yes, there is that, Dark Queen, certainly. You're in a high pop. Let me just pop into Eartham whilst I'm here. There we go. You're in a high pop server. You always get cut by someone else 10 minutes after you post. Seriously considering transfer the account to another low pop. Try out that other server first before you make the jump, but certainly it's worth it. If you think it's worth it, that is. Right, so let me have a look here. Oh, how do you do that? What was that for, Alice? Was it something I said earlier? So let me have a look. Okay, we have some sales here. It's current expansion stuff. You'll always be undercut, even on low pop servers. This is true. I'm finding the right balance here on Shadowsong being a medium pop server. Oh, I answered it. It was about pop crafting profit. Okay, excellent. Glad I answered it. I hate it when I miss stuff. So again, Notorious stuff is doing really well. So this is a combination of both mail and leather. I also happen to have a satin cloak for some reason, but I've sold that now. And as always, Drums of Fury just ticking on through, a reasonable number of those. So again, 31,000 here. So what have we had so far? 120,000 on Samadan. What was about 30 or 40,000 on Awakening? No, it was 50,000, wasn't it? And then another 30,000 on my leather worker. So all in all, each profession's not doing too badly for a week. On what server do I play? I'm on Shadowsong on EU. It's kind of a medium pop server. So again, Erfen is doing quite well. He's got 365,000. And we've also got a good stock of Expulsum ready for turning into Veiled Crystals for later. Couturus, how are you? Long time no see indeed. How have you been? I'm doing very well, thank you very much. All good on your side? Fantastic. Glad to hear it. Excuse me one moment. So, moving on to Erfen. Let's have a look at his restocks. He should be in a reasonable position, I think. Has anything expired? Oh, some things are about to expire. We've got 12 hours or less on these. So I'm just going to take them all off and repost them on. That'll be the most convenient way of doing this. Wait for that to refresh. Just take the last of them off. And then we'll collect all of these up in one moment. Eudoris, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. For your information, WoW API is kaput, broken, and not working, so no new data. Oh, that's unfortunate. Is that both EU and US, or is it just one? It's always a shame when that goes down. I hope it's nothing to do with the 8.3 changes coming in. Fingers crossed, should be alright. Valerian MD, thank you also for the follow. Hope you're doing well. It's a fine evening. And we'll pick up the last of these and we'll get these reposted on. Oh, it's just EU at the moment, is it? Okay, thank you, Darkwing. Hopefully it will come back soon. But we should be okay with our current setup. But I'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, so we'll post on all our leatherworking stuff and then we'll look at restocking this for a minute. Of course, it depends on the time of day you post and the server size competition. Try and study your competition when they tend to post. Yes, trying a different time of day helps. I post a lot of my stuff early in the morning, and that helps certainly. If it's not Discord having API issues, it's Blizzard. It's one of the two, isn't it? The joys of the internet. You're playing on a very high pop server, so there's a lot of competition on the Notorious gear. If you keep undercutting people, you lose so much gold and fees. Yeah, undercutting on Notorious gear would be quite expensive. My take on it is I fire and forget, but obviously that may not work in your case. I guess the only thing you could do is just to try and post at different times of the day and see if you can get some sales that way. It is unfortunate. Or you post on for the lowest of posting times and see if you just let them expire and then post them again. That could be another option. So let's have a look at what we do need to restock on leatherworking. So it's a bunch of Notorious gear, because obviously that's sold. We have enough Drums of Fury on us at the moment, because I made a whole bunch. So I'm just going to make all of these, and just double check that they're all in my group. We might as well carry on selling Notorious right up until 8.3 releases. We'll get all of those on. Now I just want to double check all my Notorious is in my Notorious selling group here. There's a couple of variations we haven't added to the list, so we'll pop those in. There we go. We have a swiftness potion here as well, That's got a 9 gold sale average there, so that's not too bad. We could possibly put that one up. So let's go with that, and let's go and post those on. Do I have any info on when 8.3 is going live? All I know is it's probably next year, I think, from what I've been hearing on things like Taliesin's stream and what have you, and the news channels. Let's run a post scan on that. Doohickey, thank you very much for the follow. And Drethan, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. You mentioned earlier about stocking up before the next patch. What are my thoughts on stocking up before the end of an expansion, i.e. best for prices, etc. I would stock up. It's a difficult one in the sense of I don't want to stock up too much on stuff that I'm never going to use again. But in the same sense, it's worth. I mean, looking at something, for example, like when we went from Legion and the Shalder Eye Silk, I would have loved to have had a greater stock of that going into BfA and making the Silkweave satchels for a bit longer at a really good price. Because once people moved away from Legion, then no one was farming that material. It took a long while for it to become sparse, but that is something to consider. That said, I usually stock up on stuff up to about, say, 1,000 of a certain item, and then I would look and see how quickly I'm consuming it. And if I'm not consuming it that quickly, I would call a halt on stocking up any more, and then I would see what I can do with that material over time. Patience is key on investments. Exactly. Yeah, they think it's done. Why not now? I'm not sure. Maybe they're just letting people make the most of the anniversary events and things like that. It would be nice if they released it now, but I'm happy to wait till January. I think it'll be okay. Right, so we've posted all of those on, so that's all fine. I think we're in a good position there on leatherworking, and so we'll move on to let's move on to Erfan, see how he's doing on the living steel. No, not Erfan, El Morte. See how he's moving on the living steel and the Pandaria alchemy. Sandy Succulents, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. Okay, Happiest, thank you ever so much for stopping by. Have a great rest of your evening. Do you run some dungeons to farm Hydrocore 2? I'm using them for the 32 slot bag. No, I haven't run any dungeons for a long while. So for me, it doesn't fit with my playstyle. I can't commit to a long period of time other than when I'm streaming, because the rest of the time I'm either making videos or I'm on very, very briefly. We have a long spot for 9.0 in the summer. Yeah, that's true, actually, Lizard, isn't it? So the later they keep 8.3, the better. From that point of view, certainly. Oxyatic and Drave, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Got players or their employees to work over the holiday times, which is why it's not out yet. That's probably a worthy consideration, certainly. And Colmetal, thank you also for the follow. Right, so we do have some sales, just a few. River's Heart has sold, so 6,100. I'll take those. This is a slowly but surely profession for me. I've got currently 175,000 gold on just doing the living steel transmute and everything related to that and the panther gems. So I'll need to restock on those. Let me just check my auction house. They may be expiring. Yeah, let's take them all off and repost them on. It's just a few different bits and pieces and then a few random bits of transmog. I'll do a reload on that and then we'll come through and pick the rest of that up. Wait till Jan. It's going to be a busy month, certainly. If they would in December, they'll do it before at least a week before Christmas. Yeah, just to get people sort of like excited for it, certainly. Can dual crafting disenchant Pandaria ore with a level 1 dual crafter? What do you mean by disenchant Pandaria ore? Do you mean the Do you mean as a miner? I think you might need to. So I turn it into a gems. The prospecting. Oh, I don't know. I don't have a dual crafter yet. I would like to go into the dual crafting, certainly. Do I have a solid stream schedule? Yes, it's once a week at the moment. And it's every Sunday at the same time, sort of 7 o'clock UK time in the evening. I would like to add some more streams in the future, like I had previously, but it all depends on sort of whether I can juggle it with family commitments and things like that. So watch this space, certainly. For prospecting, yes. You reckon alchemy is most profitable profession, as players consume potions and elixirs more than any other? It can be. I'm seeing some good profits so far with alchemy. I'm going to be doing my month-end review this week, so I'll go through and I'll have a look at my alchemy, and it'll be interesting to compare it versus my enchanting and tailoring, which have been my more consistent sellers previously. But at the moment, alchemy is doing very well, but I do spend quite a lot on materials, so maybe the profits aren't as high as I think, but we'll have a look. Playroom, thank you very much to the host. Very kind of you. Are my paste bins usable for plug and play, or is there more to it than that? It does require a little bit of knowledge, I would say. What I'd suggest is just have a look at them, use them for reference, and you can always swap between different profiles. So have a look at mine and import them in, see how they work, and then feel free to completely pull them apart or start from scratch based on something like that. What else have I got? Selar, thank you very much for the follow, and Sylvania, thank you also for the follow. Calling it a night. Okay, Capilethol, thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Said mats could be farmed. It would lower the cost. It could potentially, but always factor in your time it takes, because your time has a value. That time spent farming the mats could be spent doing something else that might potentially make you more gold. So it all depends on how you value your time. And if something is really expensive on my server, then yes, I would probably consider farming it. Like I tend to do that with things like Ember Silk. Okay, thank you, Joel. Right, I think have we got everything? No, we've got some cancels to deal with here. Let's deal with those. And then we'll post these on, and then we'll do a restock. We'll go through all of this, and then we'll go to auctioning, and we'll post all of this on. I could do with some more living steel. I've only got about 9, I think, at the moment. Yes, I could probably do with about 24, ideally. But I'll leave it at 9 for the moment. We'll post all of this lot on. There we go. And then we need to restock on, it's probably River's Heart. So let's use my restock group. And we'll go here. Restock selected groups. Yeah, so we need 10 River's Hearts. We need some more Golden Lotus. Let's just check the price of Golden Lotus. We might be able to pick it up cheaply. Golden Lotus should be half the price of Spirit of Harmony, because you can buy 2 Golden Lotus for 1 Spirit of Harmony. So we'll have a look, see if there's any cheap on the auction house. We'll also check the price of Spirit of Harmony, because mine's about 150 gold at the moment. 17 gold isn't too bad for a moat. Times it by 10 to get 1 spirit. Golden Lotus is here at 120 gold, so it's too expensive here. Now I still have 188 Spirits of Harmony on me, so I'm just going to buy these that are under 200. How many have we got under 200? Ramstein, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to take a few of these, because it looks like the price is going up steadily, just to keep me following the averages. Take those, and the Spirit of Harmony at 189, which is the same effective price. We'll take a few of those. There we go, spent a little bit of my gold, we're at 170,000. We'll pick those up. And then we'll use some of those. My rough ballpark on Spirits of Harmony is, like I said, 150. So I'm going to use this, and we're going to buy Golden Lotus. Let's buy ourselves 20 Golden Lotus. That should be enough for our purposes now. So I'll come back over here, go to my alchemy, and then because I'm a transmute master, hopefully I'll get some procs here on the River's Heart. There's a ×2. And that was it. Yep, that was it. So then we'll go and post those on. Any idea what to do with Spirit of Harmony besides Living Steel? Ghost Iron and Golden Lotus. You bought 20,000 spirits for 50 gold each, but the market doesn't really like Living Steel that much at the moment. Have you looked into the black and white Trillium ore? That sometimes you can buy that through the Spirit of Harmony, and sometimes that can sell for a decent price. Look at the prices on your server. You might be able to get a few sales that way. I mean, diversity is the key here. There's so many different things you could turn it into. Maybe try a bit of each and see what sells. But yeah, Living Steel for me certainly is the best option. So what are we missing here? I've got some more extras coming in here. So 584 for River's Heart. Crafting cost of 118. So that's a really good profit there. If we can sell some of those again, that would definitely be good. Terrellian, thank you very much. 12 months. Congratulations. 1 whole year. Thank you very much indeed, Terrellian, for your continued support. I really appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Let's see, a whole load of emotes in for Terrellian. How have you been? Hope you're doing an amazing tonight. I am indeed. I'm having some wonderful company here. We're making some gold, so all is well. We're just done with El Morte, so we'll move over to our final character so you can spend a little bit of time on Stabadan. So we'll jump over. I'm currently working on my herbalism on Stabadan. I was going to do inscription and jewel crafting as my ultimate aim, but because I'm trying to do Stabadan without borrowing gold from any of my other characters, he's a little bit gold poor at the moment in order to level up his inscription. So the best cost-effective way I could think of in terms of getting him into a better place was to actually pick up herbalism. So I've managed to pick up, let me have a look on his professions. So herbalism, we've currently got 383 gold on me. We've got a few of the rank ones on most. We're coming up for the rank 2s. We've got a few quests for those. Now I do have a problem with cultural significance. We need to speak to Flynn about sea stalks. The problem is Flynn is not where he's supposed to be. So Flynn should be doing the island missions, I think. At least that's where WoW thinks he should be, which is... I've gone too far. No. Over here. So it thinks that Flynn should be over here, but he's not. He is over here. So I go in here, and he's just hanging around here, with his arms crossed, looking very dejected. Unfortunately, I click on him, I can't ask him about sea stalks. So I'm missing something. So I need to start the guard for Tierguard Sound and follow it for 3 quests. Okay, thank you, Lazy Titan. The problem is, I've done something in the map, because I can't remember. Because I've got nothing else in the map here. So I can't remember where I'm at in the Tierguard Sound story. From looking at it, I do have some quests I haven't done that are over... There's My Favourite Things is available, which I'm guessing could be the next thing I need to do. Would be the next option there. Ragemane, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Oh, has my Discord link expired? Okay, thank you, DK Man. I'll go and fix that up. I'll add that to the list of things I need to fix. But thank you. What else did I miss? Even without spamming undercuts, my enchants still sell. Yep, they certainly do. It can be a little bit tricky on reset day, but I'm getting a decent amount of sales. Enough for the moment. You have the same problem, Flynn, on one of your ults. You read all suggestions in the forums and we're still no luck. Okay, Spirit Wolf. I guess I should really go over to Terragard Sound and just see if I can do a few of the quests there. Because that was my first suspicion as well. Is to go over there and see if I can fix it. I'm not sure exactly which one, but okay, let's just make that. I thought I was a druid for a minute then. Take the quest from the map and go through the 3 quests, and then he pops up. Well, that's the problem, is I've already clicked on the map at some point, so I've already done that first part. Things that I'm missing at the moment, so my guess is that I need to go over to that starting area and do a few of the quests there. I can't remember if I did them on Stabadan when I started. Good evening, Rasheen, how are you? Hope you're having a lovely week so far. What else did I miss on the chat? Open your quest log and have a look. I should already have it. Yeah, so I have in here Battlegrounds, Herbalism. I don't have a Terragard Sound section here yet. So I imagine I must have picked it up and abandoned it at some point. So I'm guessing if I head on over there and just start picking up some of the quests around that, because it's usually down here at the bottom that you start, isn't it? Now I can't remember if I've done those, but I think it'd be worth an attempt to go down there. I did start in Stormsong, I believe. I did a little bit of the quests here, and then I've done a little bit of Drustvar, and then I did the rest of my leveling in Korak's Revenge. So I really have scattershot myself around on this character. So it's going to be interesting to see if I can catch up, or find a way at least. Great, thanks. How am I? I'm doing very well, thank you, Rasheen. We're just going to have a look and see if we can advance my herbalism here and fix it up a little bit. Starting quest Terragard Sound is from the map is not down south. Oh, okay. So let's have a look. Where would we be? Around here somewhere, because there was some starting down. Now, where did we start? Now, this is the trick. I started at some point. East Point Station. So you come in here, I believe. You got the boat in here, and then you walked up to here. Now, did I do these? Well, let's get the herbs whilst we're here. That's what we're here for. And then there was this area, I believe. You go in there first, if you remember right. Might do more in Drustvar. It could be Drustvar. Yes. This is the trick. Is I can't remember where I was at. I used a bit of Zygote to help me with the leveling to start off with, but then I abandoned everything and I started just sort of scattershotting myself around. So looking at here, I don't see a lot of quests popping up around this area. You had a problem with your druid, but you could start the quest from Terragard Sound. It should be gone from the map area if you started the quest for Terragard. Okay. He does have a quest chain to move him, so maybe it's a Drustvar thing. It's a really tricky one. Yeah. Because there's the whole quest chain in Freehold, which I'm not sure whether he's part of or not yet. I'm just going to have a quick fly around and see if I can find anything quest-wise around this area. I know I'm going over a load of herbs here. Just want to see where I'm at, or if there's anything I might have missed here. Oh, have I crashed? Stream's still moving. Oh, no, there we go. We just loaded in something, that was weird. Nexot TV, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. And what else did I miss? Can't you find the quest on Wowhead? This is the problem, is I don't know which quest I'm actually looking for, which is the thing. And normally the things on Wowhead that I've looked up, people have talked about Flynn not being there at all, and then getting him to appear, but he's there, he's just not doing anything else. You should have a question mark on the map other than freehold to say how far you are on. Yeah, that's what I thought originally when I saw this quest marker down here under my favourite things, thinking that that's the next thing I need to do, would be the next linked thing. I don't have much here other than the Vanishing Lord, though maybe I need to meet with Cyril White. Maybe I should advance this a little bit more. Tell me it's not true. What's that? It's your guild name. Rushini's Crew is your guild name. It's on your server. Okay. Quest tab on the map. This one. So in terms of things I've got, the only thing I've got is Drustvar. I haven't got anything else on any of the other things. So I'm guessing. For Tiragard, that's a good question. Good point. I'm at 0 of 7 chapters. Okay. Story progress, 0 of 7. So the Ashvane Trading Company would be my first thought there. But maybe I need to get a boat. That could be something. Abandon the Drustvar one. Okay, let's try that. So now we've got the exclamation mark there, available quests. So Tiragard, let's have a look. Should be able to get a new quest for Tiragard in the maps train now. Right, let's try that. Good idea. Thank you everyone for your help on this. I knew you'd come through. Right, so let's land, and we will fix this up somehow. Right, okay. I can't seem to move my camera out much. Why is my scroll wheel not working in terms of moving out? Hold on. Something's gone a bit wrong. Is there another key binding that I've missed here? Camera out. Camera zoom out. Should be mouse wheel down. There we go. Return to game. There we go. That's why I wasn't moving out. Okay, so now we can do that. Fix all this up. This is fantastic. Should be able to get a new quest from Tiragard out. Let's give this a go. It's real. Farmer True. That's fantastic. The way to go. Right. So, let's have a look and see if we can fix this little bug and get ourselves access to Flynn. Go this way. Go inside. So now, with any luck, Flynn's still there. Talia has the question mark on her, so she's got the Vanishing Lord, but the map itself doesn't have anything on it. Okay. So maybe, has Flynn got anything to do with the Drustvar questline? I didn't think he did. So I need to do the Vanishing Lord, do I? Okay. Let's give this a go. Meet with Cyril White in Fallhaven. Would party thinking of someone who hasn't done the quest be a useful thing? You can pick up where you left off. That's possible. He needs to be on the docks, exactly. So we need to do something that gets him there. Now I thought it was the Tiragard Sound quest line, but let's see. We haven't done the Tiragard Sound quest line, but he is there. But I can't start the Tiragard Sound quest line because I don't have it in terms of, I can't select it on the map. So maybe we need to do... oh, we haven't done a load of scrap either. Maybe that's important. So let's start with this. Take the ferry. Do the stun quest for Tiragard. Then shoot the gun and he moves. That's the difficulty, Gradient. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. Maybe we need to start one of these other ones first, and then we can go back to Tiragard Sound. So maybe we need to finish the Vanishing Lord. Right, let's take the boat. Need a ferry to Drustvar. Let's follow this along. So need to complete more of the Drustvar area, then it'll let you pick up another area on the map. Okay, thank you, Lazy Time. That makes sense. That sounds like a reasonable thing to do. We'll let this run through. Exactly the same as your game. Okay, Spirit Wolf. Well, hopefully if we can find a solution to this, it will fix it for yours as well. Yeah, so you need to do the first question in Addons. When you unlock the first flight path in the Frozen Village, then you get a new quest for Tiragard. And then I do Tiragard, and then we unlock Flynn with the gun. Happened to you a few times. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you all for your help. It's good to know. I knew there'd be a solution for it somewhere. It's the tricky thing with alts. It's not something I tend to do a lot, because obviously I'm focused on my main for so long. Going back to do the storylines is kind of interesting, but it's weird that I'm 120 already and I've barely done any of the content. What's a good stack size to sell BfA weapon or ring enchants at? Well, always stacks of 1, definitely, because people generally only want to buy 1 at a time. But in terms of number of them, I tend to have anything between 4 and 10 of any one enchant, depending on the sale rate. Right, so we'll need to extend this a little bit. Obviously, we've got some herbs we could have been making some on, but we'll do the quest line, because doing the quest line will at least get us some gold. Like I said, we haven't got a lot of gold here, 383 gold. We do have a decent amount of Siren's Pollen. I bought a fair amount of that when I did have some gold. We have a decent amount. Well, I've got some benthic gear. Oh, that's the Culturian crafting. We need that. And that is a waistband I don't need. And then that's a shoulder enchant I don't really need. So we can probably get rid of those two. Celticus, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Anyone do garrisons? You stopped even though Fortunes have all 20 followers with extreme scavengers. I still do on Samadan. I do my Hexweave bag on him with the garrison. I still find that really useful. Hexweave bags, for some reason on my server, still go for a good 1500 gold. So it's definitely worth it. Wolf almost took him a leg. You sell enchants at 1. Yeah, that's the main way. Right, okay, so let's follow this quest line, and whilst we're doing it, we'll pick up some herbs and finish off that as well. Where's that one gone? Oh, it's down here. We'll take that, and then we'll head off in this direction. The trouble with finding herbs around in Drustvar is it's when it's on a tree, it's really hard to find because there's so many trees here. There we go. We'll move on. I can't remember how much of this quest we need to do, but we'll give it a go. And we'll move over here. Now we've got a lot to do here. Where is that? Oh, I thought that was a herb. It's the actual guy we need to look for the source of the spell. Goodbye. And then we'll try and do this. I remember doing this from a while ago on Earthen. Complete the quest on the effigy. We'll come over here. Mayor's unresponsive, so then we need to, where do we need to go? Over here, signs and portents. Now, that's this one. Oh yes, the thing he was posting up. We need to click on that. So we're getting a bit of gold through doing this, which is always handy. Right, okay, so signs and portents, farmer's journal. I'll pick up these. Ideally, actually, I should use Zygor for this. It will run me through this. That's the ledger. Farmer's journal is... looks like it's somewhere else. Let me have a look at this. Let's go over this way. Right one too, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. I hope you're having a great evening yourself. It's all through the Wowhead blog, so I'm very grateful for being able to at least have those extra views. Whether you're looking from the Wowhead blog or you are here live, it is very much appreciated. Right, we'll do that one. Then we'll jump over here. Oops. See if I can fly properly. We'll see that going. Hexley thanks for 900 gold, but with 4 tunes was too much tracking of missions for resources, too much buying of mats all the time. I ended up buying my sumptuous fur off the auction house, and that was the best thing for me. There we go, and we'll just run through this, and looks like we need to go this way. I'll do that one last. Now, hopefully this one will work. Signs of importance though. Oh no, we need Ava's note. That's not quite here. Ava's note should be somewhere else, I think. Is it inside? Let's have a look. Yes. Oh, hold on. I'm too big. Unusual to say that as a gnome. Let's go in here. There we go. And we can go back. And then we'll go back over here. This is what I need to do. And we'll complete that. Accept that. So I'm just going to turn on the, not voodoo. Click OK on that. The Zygle guide. So I'm going to load up the Drustvar leveling. So we'll go, alright, Battle for Azeroth, Kultiras, Drustvar. Let's load up this guide. That'll just guide me through and tell me what to do. Okay, turn in Rowood Crone. And go this way. Where are you? Go there, and then over there. Okay, we'll just jump through that. Jump through the hoops. This is probably not the best mount to be doing on it because I'm bouncing all over the place. We'll come in here, we'll do this, and then we'll turn into, take a seat. Okay, what am I missing on the chat before I start this? Because we're going to actually have the quest on the map now from doing that. You did more though. Left under bottom right, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was that one from? Go back to Veralis now and use the map. Okay, thank you, Lazy Titan. Let me just do this last bit. Because this looks like it's fun. Poor Stabadan. Bless him. Right, I'll click on that. Okay, Furious Familiars. Okay, we're done with this. Okay, we're done with that. Destroy the effigies is the next thing. But let's go and head back. So let's, where's my, I've got 5 minutes left on my Hearthstone. So let's carry on for another 5 minutes whilst we're here. I'll also pick up the herbs whilst we're here. We'll do this. Hoxie, how are you? I'm doing very well. What am I doing right now? We're trying to progress our Herbalism quest. Because we have inscription on this character. But before I could do that, I needed to speak to Flynn, because our Herbalism quest, let's have a look, where was it? Herbalism, down here. We want to speak to Flynn about the Sea Stalks, but Flynn was in the wrong place. So we just need to expand on this Drustvar quest line before we can get back into the next section. So let's just do a little bit of actual fighting, see how we get on. Stabby McStabby, 6, 5, 4. There we go. Need to get a few of these. Get that, get that, get that for. Wave, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. A long time no see. How have you been? Oh, no pockets to pick. That's unfortunate. It'd be nice if they did. I like doing pickpockets on Stabadan. Do these, do these. There we are. Cats. Oh, we don't have cats. That would be a good one. One to add in there. But if you are looking for Oreo, Oreo is there behind me. That little dark furry splodge behind my ear. Right, 3 more minutes left on my Hearthstone cooldown. So we'll carry on this quest line for the moment. Do the effigies. There we go, do that, move through. Do that, and do that. He looks comfortable, he looks extremely comfortable, tucked away in the corner there. Right. Do this one whilst you're here. Oh, yeah, got some pockets to pick, that's good. And one of those, 4 of those. Do that. Oh, there we go. Complete quest Witch Hunt. Do that, do that. Oh, we've frozen again. This is a new thing for me. My PC doesn't normally freeze like this. Poor Mr. Potato 2 is struggling on something, or something is struggling. There we go. Do we need to do this? It's all runes. Don't think we do. Let's do the effigy though. We'll do that whilst we're here. Okay, Mushy. Have a great rest of your evening. Well, you want me to link the video? You can either DM me on Discord if you're on their handlebar, or give me a Twitter DM, or here through Twitch. Any of them should work. Good night, Mushy. Have a great rest of your evening. Right, we're just going to finish off one of these, maybe. Stun that one. We've got no pockets to pick, which is not surprising. We need to go a bit closer, that's why. There we go. That's better. Oh, now this could be a bit tricky. We've got a lot of things here. But we should be alright. Facing the wrong way, let's turn around. Seem to be okay as a rogue now, not quite as flaky as we were when we first started playing a rogue. Now that we're up to item level 380, it does seem to be a bit more comfortable to play, if that's such a thing. Okay, one more to go, or what else are we missing here? Heartsbane Scroll, we'll pick up that. Oh, I don't really need that. Let's just leave that, and then we'll head over here. I don't know who Balethorn is, but let's start with you. I wonder if you've got any pockets to pick. No pockets to pick. I don't want to do the Sky Golem, that was the wrong button. Definitely. I'll do that, do that. Press one of those. That's my flask. 2, 2, 2. Balethorn seems okay. Let's just heal myself up just in case. Seems to be okay. We could interrupt something. That would be useful. And shoot between the eyes, and then we'll do those two. And they're all done. There you go, tiny Azurite Splinter. And we'll finish off with that one. Okay, they're all done. So we can now Hearthstone back. That'll probably be easiest. Where are we next on the map? We need to go back to Fallhaven, so we'll come back to that another time. I'm going to Hearthstone back from now. That should be fine. So, moving on, so hopefully we need to find if we can do the Tiragard Sound storyline from Drustvar now, and then we can get this Herbalism quest advanced. If I can get up to rank 2s on a few things, that would be useful. In terms of my efficiency, that's for sure. Right, so let's go down, have a look. The trouble with having lots of alts is remembering where you are on each one. Ah yes, we do have an exclamation mark, fantastic. So now let's choose Tiragard Sound. Accept that one. And then we'll speak to Talia.
Together we can unify Kultiras.
We'll complete that one. Fixed it. Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Here we go. Here's Flynn. Right, shoot your gun, please. There we go. Right, we'll complete that one. Now, can we speak to you about the sea stalks? Not yet. Okay, goblins rule. Let's speak to Cirrus first. Let's accept that. Have another job, right, okay. Come on, Flynn, off you go. Off I go then. Flynn, we need to... Oh, Flynn's disappeared now. That's unfortunate. Alright, we'll probably have to speak to Talia. Let's bring up Tiragard. Let's go back a little bit here. Okay, we've done those. 5 Flynn's pistol, we've done that. Okay, accept a bundle of furs over here. So let's go through here. Go to the island table. Let's have a look. Do we have a Flynn? We have a yellow dot. This is promising. There he is. We have a Flynn. Thank you everyone for your help on that one. So, what can you tell me about sea stalks? There we go. Cultural significance done. That's fantastic. It's weird how he walked up those stairs and disappeared over to the map. But there we go. That's how to fix it. Safiosia, thank you very much for the follow. So we're going to head over and have a look at cultural significance. We'll hand that in, so we'll get rank 2 on Sea Stalk, which is another start. There we go. Thank you, Cody. 2 hours 54 minutes. Oh, we're nearly at finishing time actually, but that's good to know. It's fixed for you as well. Excellent, Spirit. Congratulations. Glad you got it fixed as well. So we're done with that. So those two we can possibly think about at a later date, Tiragard and Drustbar, because we do get some nice gold through doing the quest. We were at 380 something. We're already at 502 just through following a few quest lines. So it's not a bad way of making gold. Thinking about it, if you're really low on gold as I am here, then going through and doing a quest line, I mean, it was certainly a good method when I was starting. I got a good 3,000 to 5,000 gold just through doing that. Obviously looking out for the emissaries as well, if there's any gold ones there. Haven't got anything at the moment other than gear upgrades really, so that could be another thing to consider. But my main focus here on Stabadan is to get enough gold to level up my inscription, because I haven't done much yet. I'm at the mass milling stage, and don't forget to get the 15 Anchorweed quest in Voldun if you're a herbalist. Yes, I need to go over and do that actually. Looking at it, looking at my quest line here, Battlegrounds, under Herbalism, I've got here in Spirit, I need one more Star Moss. I need to go over to Unusual Request here in Voldun, the one you were mentioning. I do need to do a dungeon as well, seeking more knowledge to get my rank 2 in Anchorweed. Inscription is the best for gold making? Not necessarily on its own. It's a good one. What I want to do is have a character have every single profession. So this is my character that's going to be doing inscription, possibly jewel crafting as well. I may stick with herbalism, I'm not sure. Good star moss farming near Totolan village in Voldun. Okay, that's also another good one to think about, certainly. So I will need to do Waycrest Manor at some point on Stabadan. Obviously it's too late to be doing that tonight, but that is something to think about. So we've got a few quests to do here. Let me just have a look actually. Let's finish off with the Here in Spirit. So star moss we need. Let's have a look at where my star moss is. So there's a decent amount. Riverbeds down here. Winter Kiss there. Star moss around here in decent quantities. Now there's a few bits of star moss there. Now I haven't got the full GatherMate 2 data here. This is only what I found on this character. I could probably do with bringing in the data on everything. I'm not sure if this will work actually. I did it with a fresh install, but let's try it whilst we're looking at add-ons this week on the Wowhead blog anyway. So let's go on to add-ons. No, let's go on to interface, add-ons, GatherMate 2, and then we're going to import Herbalism, Mining and Fishing. I don't want to do any one. I want to do everything really. I don't want to have any one specific one. We don't have Battle for Azeroth in here as a list anyway. So maybe we'll just auto import. Let's try that. Fishing, Herbalism, Mining, import data. Let's overwrite. Let's try that. Import the data. GatherMate 2 data has been imported. Now let's see if that has updated my maps. Yes, there we go. So that's the correct data for everything. That's good. Huggle the Muggle, hosting with one viewer. Thank you very much. Love the name. Hope you're doing well. So this is the correct data for what it should look like in each zone. So the main thing I'm looking for here is clusters of star moss ideally to see where I can get some, and looking at this, looking here nearby, so there's a little scattering of star moss in various places. Seems to be a good point over here near the Norrington estate, so let's head over in that direction. Where did I get the data from? It's a separate add-on part. So if we go to the Wowhead blog, let me just bring that back up over here. So if you go onto my add-ons section here, under farming add-ons, so GatherMate 2 is the main add-on, and then data is a separate add-on here. So you go onto here, CurseForge, and GatherMate 2 data will have, you download that as well as GatherMate 2, and that will give you the data for everything updated. And if you want to go to the Wowhead blog, if you haven't gone to this already, Wowhead, you go to that, and that's got the that's got a link to the blog there if you haven't been on it already. So hopefully that'll be useful to you. And then if you want to set up routes, that's really handy. In fact, let's do that at the end as a finishing way for the stream. So let's have a look at, say, Tiragard Sound. Let's say we wanted to just do star moss. Normally I'd do every herb, but let's just have a look at this. If we wanted to do star moss here, so we'll go into interface add-ons, and now roots isn't part of this actually. We'll do /roots. That will get it up. /roots. There we go. So this is roots, and we're going to make a new root, and so we're going to go. Those are my existing roots. So we're going to add a root in. We're going to call this Tiragard. I don't think that's how you spell it. Star moss. That's probably the worst name I can go with. So we want GatherMate data. We want to just look at star moss. There's 73 nodes of it. So I'll look at star moss here, and we'll create the root. And then we'll go into our roots here, and under Tiragard Sound, Tiragard Star Moss, we'll go into Optimize Route. So currently the route is going to look like, it's going to look really weird. If you go to Tiragard now, so it's kind of working quite well. You've got the lines here, but if you see here, it's all scattered around, it's all zigzaggy, which isn't exactly optimal. So what we would do here is we go into /roots. Oh, thank you, Babito and Driggs for the follows. Hope you're doing well. So we're going to go into the roots and we're going to optimize the roots. So we're going to cluster them up first. And then we're going to do a foreground process, which means it's going to freeze the game for a little bit whilst it just goes through and optimizes the route as best as possible. Didn't take too long because it was only a short path. I'll click close on that. And now when we look at the map again, under this for Star Moss, this route over here isn't quite so zigzaggy now, and it's taking us on a nice little route through all of this. So if we then followed this line in a circuit, we could go and collect Star Moss. Now, it's better done with all of the herbs, or at least ones you want to focus on, rather than just one herb. Normally I'll do that for every herb. Did I miss anything else there? Thank you for the TSM videos, that helped you a lot. And no problem at all. I'm glad they were useful. I'm going to have to try Gathermate again. Have gotten Gathermate, etc. To work since WOD. I'm not sure what you're doing wrong. Okay, well, it's certainly useful if you're going to be going and doing some herbalism. And you want to go and farm a few things, get a few... try Farm HUD as well. Yes, Caffeine. That was another one that's that will give you a nice heads-up display in the middle. I wasn't too comfortable with it when I tried it out a long time ago, but I'll certainly give it another go. First you zig, then you zag, zig, zig, zig. Yeah, exactly, basically. But unfortunately, I have run out of time tonight. But I do want to say a big, massive thank you to everyone who's joined me on the stream tonight. Your company has been more than welcome. So thank you all. Let's see if we can find someone to throw a host on over to. Let me just bring up a list of everyone that's on. Who do we have? Who's doing gold making at the moment would be my first question. We have Sparetees is on. She's gold making and multi-boxing. So that's going to be a interesting one to have a look at. Let's just have a look, see where she's at. Wait for that to go through. Wait for my ad to run. And we'll throw her a host. Can you make a suggestion, Sparetee? Already there, Rashim, but a great suggestion nonetheless. Right, I'm just waiting for the ad to run through. Birch the Bard, thank you very much for the follow. We are just finishing off here, but thank you all for your company tonight. Gosh, that was a long ad. He's mainly crafting at the moment. Fantastic. Just what we like in terms of gold making. Alright, so slash host. That's me. That's going to make sure. EI isn't it? EITY. Okay, so making gold, hope that happened. Thank you all for your lovely company. Devoted to this, thank you also for the follow. From myself and Oreo in the corner there, we wish you a very good night. Next week, another Wowhead blog. So until next time, hopefully I'll also get my month-end video out as well. So watch out for that one. You can also find this will be on YouTube in a couple of days' time. Jethan, thank you very much for the follow as well. So until next time, have a lovely rest of your week of gold making. Until next time, from me and Oreo, we wish you farewell, and we're going to throw a host over to Sparetee and carry on with some gold making.